On our third wedding anniversary, my best friend Yuman sent me a video. In the video, she was intimately entangled with my husband Hui Yanzhou, with our marital bedroom as the backdrop. Immediately after, she sent another message. You probably didn't know this, did you? Yanzhou says he loves it most when I call him husband while beneath him. In my past life, seeing this drove me to utter madness. And I ended up being accidentally pushed off a high-rise by Hui Yanzhou during our heated argument. Given a second chance at life, I calmly picked up the phone as I watched the steamy scene unfolding in the video. Hey, is this brother Zhang the paparazzo? I've got a bombshell story that's guaranteed to make headlines. Interested? The video was shot from a cleverly concealed angle, as if hidden among the trinkets on the nightstand. The face of Yuman, once so familiar to me, was now flushed with a heated glow, and the man pressing down on her was my husband of 3 years, Hui Yanzhou. The backdrop was none other than our very own wedding chamber. That European-style carved bed was one I had personally chosen. Even that dim bedside lamp was a one-of-a-kind piece I hunted down in Italy. At the end of the video, Yuman flashed a victory sign at the camera. In my past life. When I saw this video, all the blood rushed to my head. I went berserk, smashing everything in the house, then charged into Hui Corporation like a madwoman and slapped Hui Yanzhou in front of everyone. I confronted him, demanding to know why he betrayed me. He just stared at me coldly, as if I were some unreasonable lunatic. Liang Jin, haven't you caused enough trouble? Our argument spilled over from the office to our home, on the rooftop terrace. He struggled to break free from my grasp and accidentally pushed me over the edge. As I fell, I saw the panic in his eyes. And behind him, Yuman's smug smile. Given a second chance at life, I'm no longer that Liang Jin who only knew how to cry and make a scene. I closed the video and clicked on Yuman's new profile picture. It was a selfie of her wearing that globally limited edition haute couture gown Hui Yanzhou gave me, a blatant show-off aimed right at me. Right after, her message popped up. Liang Jin. Yanzhou said he loves it most when I call him husband while we're intimate. He said you're like a wooden doll, lifeless and dull. With me, he finally feels like a real man. Oh, by the way, today marks our 5th anniversary. We've been together longer than you two have been married. I read these provocative messages but didn't reply, calmly saving all the chat logs and videos instead. Then, I dialed the number that had been saved in my contacts for ages but never once called. The person on the other end seemed surprised, their tone cautious. Mrs. Hua. I chuckled softly. Brother Zhang, long time no see. Zhangli, the top dog in the paparazzi world. It must be Hui Yanzhou's rival's doing. In my past life, Zhangli once offered me a fortune to dig up dirt on him. I turned him down without a second thought. I naively believed I had to protect my husband's flawless reputation. Looking back now, it's utterly ridiculous. I've got some juicy gossip about Hui Yanzhou that's guaranteed to make headlines. Interested? Zhang Li's breathing suddenly became rapid. Mrs. Hua, are you serious? Hui Yanzhou, CEO of Hui Corporation, is having an affair with the popular starlet Yuman while married. I've got videos and photos as proof. Is that enough for you? Dead silence hung on the other end of the line. After a long pause, Brother Zhang finally found his voice, stammering with excitement. Absolutely, more than enough, Mrs. Hua. Rest assured, I've been in this business for years and know the rules inside out. I'll handle this flawlessly for you. I'll send the materials to your email in 5 minutes. As for the payment, you decide what's fair. After hanging up the phone, I glanced at the clock on the wall. 8 o'clock in the evening. Hui Yanzhou should be back any minute now. Hui Yanzhou didn't return until 10 that night. He seemed to have just come from a drinking session, carrying a faint scent of alcohol and a subtle hint of women's perfume. It was the signature scent Yuman always wore, the legendary prima donna. In my past life, I had a huge fight with him over that very smell, but he brushed it off casually, saying it was from a business dinner and he must have accidentally picked it up. He looked surprised to see me sitting on the couch, casually tossing his suit jacket aside. Why didn't you have Zhang Ma cook today? I walked over with a smile and said, it's our 3rd wedding anniversary today. I cooked your favorite dishes myself. Hui Yanzhou's expression softened as he pinched my cheek, his tone carrying a hint of condescending tenderness. You've worked hard. Things have been hectic at the company lately. It slipped my mind. It's all right, I replied with a smile that didn't reach my cold eyes. As long as you remember to come home. In my past life, I always said things like this, only to be met with his half-hearted embrace and the same old line about me being the understanding one. The price of being sensible is eternal damnation. the atmosphere at the dinner table was somewhat heavy. Hui Yanzhou ate absent-mindedly, his phone screen lighting up from time to time. I glanced over and saw the contact name was M. A faint smile touched his lips as he replied, one he didn't even realize was there. My heart stung as if pricked by a needle, but the pain soon faded into calm. After all these years of feelings, how could I just stop caring in an instant? But it's fine, soon enough. He won't be smiling anymore. Ding dong. His phone chimed with a special notification. It was a headline push notification from major news outlets. Hashtag Huisher CEO Hui Yanzhou cheats on rising star Yu Man. Intimate video leaked. Hashtag rich family marriage scandal. Fairy tale shattered. Hashtag Yu Man breaks up Hui's marriage. Knowingly the other woman. Hashtag. One shocking headline after another instantly flooded the entire screen. Each trending topic was followed by a crimson explosive tag. Hui Yanzhou's face gradually drained of color. He snapped his head up to look at me, his eyes filled with shock. Liang Jin, was it you? I set down my chopsticks, dabbed the corners of my mouth elegantly with a napkin, then met his gaze with a gentle, innocent smile. Yanzhou, what are you talking about? I can't understand you, stop pretending. He swept the dishes off the table in one swift motion, the shattering porcelain piercingly sharp and harsh. The scalding soup splashed onto the back of my hand, burning with a fierce, stinging pain. I didn't even bat an eye. What's this little pain compared to the agony of being torn apart in my past life? I told you it wasn't me. Couldn't it have been Yu Man who leaked it herself? I stood up, looking down at him. Maybe she's trying to climb the ladder. Just then, his phone started ringing like crazy. His assistant, the PR department of Hui Corporation, and the patriarch of the Hui family, they all called in a flurry. He scrambled to answer the phone and roared into the receiver, suppress this, at any cost, get this trending topic taken down. After hanging up, he glared at me with bloodshot eyes. Liang Jin, what the hell are you trying to do? Do you have any idea what the consequences will be? The Hui family's stock will plummet, the entire company will suffer. So what? I sneered, if the stock crashes, that's your loss, Hui Yanzhou. What's it to me? If the company takes a hit, that's on you for poor management. You brought this on yourself, you're insane. He lunged at me, grabbing my throat and slamming me against the cold wall. A suffocating feeling washed over me instantly. His twisted face looked exactly the same as when he pushed me down the stairs in my past life. For the sake of a woman, you'd destroy me and everything we had. His voice was filled with disappointment and anguish, as though I were the one who had betrayed him. I forced a strained smile. Hui Yanzhou, there hasn't been an S between us for a long time, not since the moment you and Yu Man tumbled into our marital bed. His grip tightened even more. Just as I thought he might actually kill me this time, the villa's doorbell rang at the most inopportune moment. Hui Yanzhou's movements halted abruptly. Seizing the opportunity, I pushed him away forcefully and gasped for fresh air. From outside the door came an anxious woman's voice. Yanzhou, open the door. Are you alright? It's Yu Man. How dare she show up here? Hui Yanzhou's face instantly darkened. He's completely overwhelmed, and there's probably a swarm of reporters already waiting outside. Yu Man's arrival at this moment was like adding fuel to the fire. Get her out of here, he growled, running his hands through his hair in frustration. I straightened my disheveled collar, walked over to the video doorbell, and pressed the talk button. On the screen, Yu Man was in tears, her makeup smeared, looking utterly pitiful. Yanzhou, I know you must be furious with me right now. This is all my fault. I shouldn't have sent those things to provoke Liang Jin. Please let me in. I want to explain and apologize to her in person. As she spoke, she kept stealing glances at the hidden camera in the shadows from the corner of her eye. What a meticulously calculated performance, a real scheming hypocrite. In my past life, she used this exact same pitiful act to make everyone believe I was just a jealous, crazy woman. I let out a soft chuckle and opened the door. Yu Man clearly hadn't expected me to actually open the door. A flicker of surprise crossed her face, but she quickly regained her usual delicate and innocent demeanor, lifting the hem of her dress as if to rush inside. Yanzhou, I stepped sideways to block her path, cutting off her advance and shielding the view from the countless camera flashes outside. Miss you, I said with a soft smile, my voice just loud enough for the reporters at the door to hear. My husband isn't available to see guests right now. If you have something to say, you can tell me instead. Yu Man bit her lip, tears welling up in her eyes almost instantly. Liang Jin, I know you hate me, but Yanzhou and I are truly in love. We've known each other for 5 years. If it weren't for the arranged marriage, I should be the one standing by his side right now. Oh, is that so? I raised an eyebrow, but the one standing here now is me. As long as I don't step aside, the position of Mrs. Who will never be yours. You man turned pale with rage, yet forced to maintain her public image, she could only shed tears of grievance. For, Liang Jin, what on earth do you want? Hui Yanzhou also stepped out, the reporter's camera flashes instantly lit up, dazzlingly bright, perfect. This is exactly the effect I wanted, as I looked at the pitiful pair of adulterers before me. The smirk on my lips grew more pronounced. I don't want anything, I shrugged, feigning innocence. I just want to remind President Hui that the person you're protecting is the one you cheated with during our marriage. With all these media outlets present, are you trying to publicly confirm your guilt? Hui Yanzhou's face turned a mix of pale and ashen, a truly dramatic sight. It finally dawned on him that he had let his emotions get the better of him. He wanted to distance himself from Yuman. But she had already grabbed his arm and was crying even louder. Yanzhou, please don't push me away. I know it's all my fault. Please don't be angry with me. The reporters were electrified, camera shutters clicking incessantly. Mr. Hua, what is the nature of your relationship with Ms. Yuman? Are you planning to divorce your wife, Ms. Yuman? Do you feel no shame for meddling in someone else's marriage? Hui Yanzhou's PR team finally arrived. Struggling mightily to push through the crowd of reporters and usher him and Yuman into the car in a disheveled state, the car sped away, leaving chaos in its wake. I shut the door, blocking out all the commotion outside. The living room was in complete disarray, as if a war had just torn through it. The burn on the back of my hand has blistered, throbbing with a searing pain, yet I acted as if I felt nothing, calmly picking up the shattered pieces from the floor. Tonight is only the beginning. Hui Yanzhou, Yuman, every ounce of suffering you inflicted on me in my past life, I will make you repay 100, 1,000 times over. The next morning, Hui Corporation's stock price hit the limit down as expected. The hashtag Hui Corp loses 10 billion in market cap dominated the financial news headlines. I was leisurely sipping my coffee, admiring my handiwork, when an unknown number called. It was a call from the Hui family's ancestral home. On the other end of the line was my always high and mighty mother-in-law, Zhou Peilan. Her voice was dripping with suppressed rage. Liang Jin, get your ass back here right now. I leisurely finished the last sip of my coffee before finally speaking, in no particular hurry. Mom, what did you need to talk to me about? How dare you call me mom? Look at the mess you've made. You've completely shamed the Hui family. Zhou Peilan roared over the phone. You're mistaken, Mom, I chuckled softly. The one who should be ashamed is your son who can't control his urges, not me, the victim here. You wretched woman, you're just trying to ruin Yanzhou and destroy our family. I'm just taking back what's rightfully mine. I order you to hold a press conference immediately and tell everyone that the video was fabricated, that you deliberately framed Yanzhou out of revenge. It sounded like the most ridiculous joke I'd ever heard. Mom, have you lost your mind? You want me to clear the names of that cheating pair? Do you really think that's possible? On the other end of the line, Zhou Peilan was so furious with me that she was speechless for a long moment, her heavy breathing the only sound I could hear. Liang Jin. Don't forget, your brother's company still needs the Hui family's investment. If you dare disobey me, I swear, with just one word from me, I can bankrupt your brother and wipe the Liang family off the map of Jiangqing. This again, in my past life, she used my brother Liang Ming's company to threaten me, forcing me to swallow my anger and never dare to fight back. But now, things are different. The first thing I did after being reborn was to liquidate all my personal assets and shares, quietly covering Liang Ming's company's financial shortfall, and even securing several major overseas deals for him. The Liang family no longer needs to kowtow to the Hui family. Go ahead and try, Mom, I said nonchalantly. Let's see which happens first, the Liang family's downfall or the Hui family's stock price crashing below its IPO value. With that, I hung up the phone decisively, hearing the busy tone from the other end. Zhou Peilan was so furious that she smashed her phone. Meanwhile, I changed into a proper suit, applied some elegant makeup, and drove to Liang Corporation. By the time I arrived, Liang Ming was in a high-level meeting. He looked surprised by my sudden appearance, but immediately halted the meeting and invited me into his office. Sis, what brings you here? The Hui family, they didn't give you any trouble, did they? Liang Ming's face was etched with concern, given how big the news had blown up. There's no way he hadn't heard about it. I shook my head and handed him a document. 5. Here are all the property deeds and equity transfer agreements under my name. take them to the lawyer and get it processed. Liang Ming turned pale with shock. Sis, what are you doing? Are you divorcing Hui Yanzhou? But, what about the company? If the Hua family withdraws their investment, I cut him off. Don't worry, the Hua family can't withdraw their investment. Not only that, I'm going to acquire Hua Corporation's shares. Liang Ming's eyes widened like copper bells. Sis, are you out of your mind? Acquiring Hua Corporation, where would we even get that kind of money? Don't worry about the money, I said, looking at him with unwavering determination in my eyes, though filled with doubt. Liang Ming looked at me and finally gave a firm nod. I trust you. Ever since I was old enough to understand things, my younger brother has always listened to me the most. That's exactly why I'm willing to help him. In my past life, after I died, he threw himself against impossible odds to avenge me. In the end, Hui Yanzhou forced him into exile, and his whereabouts remain unknown. In this life, I will not only protect him but also stand with him at the pinnacle no one else can reach. After leaving Liang Corporation, I arranged to meet Brother Zhang at a discreet tea house. When I arrived, he was already there. Upon seeing me, he immediately stood up and greeted me respectfully. Miss Liang. I slid a thick envelope across the table toward him. This is for your trouble. Brother Zhang opened it and his eyes went wide. Miss Liang, you're too kind. This is, take it, I said, lifting the teacup and gently blowing on the steam. I need your help with something this time. Brother Zhang immediately understood and pocketed the envelope. Miss Liang, just say the word. I, Zhang, will go through fire and water without hesitation. I need you to keep an eye on Hui Yanzhou and Yuman for me. I want to know their every move. Also, look into all of Hua Corporation's projects from the past 5 years, especially the problematic ones. The more detailed the information, the better. Brother Zhang looked troubled. Miss Liang, getting internal documents from Hua Corporation won't be easy. I know it's difficult. I set down my teacup and looked him straight in the eye. But I thought you'd be thrilled to see Hua Corporation go down, wouldn't you? Zhang, a paparazzi boss, could leak Hui Yanzhou's dirt so brazenly. I was certain someone was backing him, someone who had it out for Hui Yanzhou. Zhang's smile vanished from his face, and after a long pause, he agreed to my request. Don't worry, Miss Liang. I guarantee I'll get what you need delivered to you within 3 days, after settling things with Brother Zhang. I was in a pretty good mood as I got ready to leave. Just as I stepped out of the tea house, I spotted a familiar Bentley parked by the roadside. The car window rolled down, revealing Hui Yanzhou's grim face. Get in the car, he commanded. I pretended not to hear and kept walking straight ahead. He suddenly got out of the car and grabbed my wrist. Liang Jin, how long are you going to keep this up? Keep this up. I shook off his hand and glared at him coldly. Hui Yanzhou, in your eyes. Am I just throwing a tantrum for no reason? He took a deep breath, struggling to contain his anger as his tone softened slightly. Xiao Jin, I know I was wrong. I shouldn't have been with Yuman, but after all these years together, are you really going to throw everything away over something this trivial? Trivial? I nearly laughed in disbelief. Hui Yanzhou, you call cheating during our marriage trivial. It was just a mistake. He pleaded urgently. I had too much to drink that night. And Yuman was just comforting me. So you ended up comforting each other in my bed. I cut him off, each word hitting like a dagger. Hui Yanzhou, stop insulting my intelligence. You and her, it's been 5 years, hasn't it? His face instantly turned deathly pale. He probably never expected I'd even know about this. Did she tell you? A flash of viciousness crossed Hui Yanzhou's eyes. That woman, she can't do anything right. Only makes things worse, seeing him like this. I knew right away that those provocative messages Yuman sent me weren't at his direction. 6. In fact, he probably had no idea about them at all. Their relationship isn't as rock solid as they make it out to be, either. It's just a case of each using the other for their own needs. Who told me doesn't matter. I took a step back, putting distance between us. What matters is this. Hui Yanzhou, I want a divorce. I refuse. He shot back without hesitation. Liang Jin, I won't agree to a divorce. The title of Mrs. Hu will always be yours. Ha, I scoffed coldly. Are you afraid a divorce would tarnish your reputation and hurt Hu Corporation's stock price? His expression darkened further, clearly struck by the truth in my words. I know you're still upset, he said in a placating tone, trying to soothe me. Jin, just name your price. A designer bag, jewelry, a luxury car, or even a house, whatever you want. It's yours. He thought I was still the same woman who could be easily bought off with material things. what I want, you can't give, I said, looking straight at him, enunciating every word. I want you and the Hua Corporation to be utterly ruined. His pupils contracted sharply, and the last trace of warmth vanished from his face. Liang Jin, do you really have to go this far? You left me no choice. I knew Hui Yanzhou wouldn't let this go. Sure enough, the next day, numerous articles defending him flooded the internet. Without exception, they all pointed fingers at Yu Man, accusing her of deliberately seducing Hui Yanzhou, who was merely momentarily confused and made a mistake that any man in the world could make. At the same time, they released many old photos of Hui Yanzhou and me looking deeply in love, creating the illusion that he adored me but was deceived by a scheming woman. There were even paid commenters steering the conversation, claiming I was making a mountain out of a molehill, being unforgiving despite having the moral high ground, and lacking generosity. What man doesn't stray? Mr. Hua has already admitted his mistake. Mrs. Hua should just forgive him. Seriously, ruining your family over some mistress. What a waste. I don't think Liang Jin is any saint either. She must have her own issues for her husband to look elsewhere. Reading these twisted remarks just makes me laugh. Hui Yanzhou's PR team sure knows how to play the game. I ignored the online chatter and immediately called my legal team to file for divorce. I'd also requested the division of our marital assets. Since Hui Yanzhou and I didn't sign a prenup, by law I'm entitled to half of his fortune. The news sent Hua Corporation's stock tumbling once again. Zhou Peilon was so furious she ended up in the hospital. Hui Yanzhou, overwhelmed and at his wits' end, finally couldn't take it anymore and asked to meet me. The meeting was set in a private room at an upscale club. When I arrived, he was already there, with a divorce agreement laid out in front of him. Liang Jin, you've won. He looked utterly exhausted, with dark circles under his eyes. Sign this. And aside from the Hua Corporation shares, I'll give you everything else I own. I took the agreement and skimmed through it. The properties, luxury cars, and jewelry listed were worth a fortune, more than enough to live comfortably for the rest of my life. In another lifetime, I might have been tempted, but now, these are nothing more than a pile of scrap metal to me. I pushed the agreement back. I told you, what I want is Hua Corporation's shares, over my dead body. He snapped instantly. Liang Jin, don't push your luck. The fact that I'm offering you this much is only out of respect for our past as husband and wife. Respect, I scoffed. Whatever respect we had vanished the moment you climbed into bed with Yu Man. Are you really determined to push this to mutual destruction? It's not mutual destruction, I corrected him. It's the fish dying while the net remains intact. What I want has never been as simple as just getting a divorce. What I want is for the entire Hua Corporation to go down with him. Our negotiations have reached another deadlock. Just then, the door to the private room was suddenly pushed open from the outside. Wearing a white dress, Yu Man rushed in, her face streaked with tears. Yanzhou, she threw herself in front of Hui Yanzhou, grabbing his arm. You promised me, you said you would marry me. Hui Yanzhou's face instantly turned ashen when he saw her, and he roughly shook off her hand. What are you doing here? Who let you in? Get out. 7. I'm not leaving. Yu Man shook her head tearfully. Yanzhou, everyone online is attacking me. Why is your PR team pinning all the blame on me? We're truly in love. Didn't you promise to marry me after taking over the Liang family? Her words carried a bombshell of implications. I narrowed my eyes and looked at Hui Yanzhou. So this was the real reason he married me, to leverage the Liang family's influence, secure his position in the Hua Corporation, and then turn around and swallow up the Liang family. What a brilliant move to undermine the foundation. Hui Yanzhou, you're even more ruthless than I ever imagined. Hui Yanzhou's expression was beyond just looking unpleasant. He probably never dreamed that the woman he had always cherished and protected would stab him in the back at the most critical moment. What nonsense are you spouting? He snapped at Yu Man, cutting her off with a look full of warning. Hui Yuman acted as if she hadn't seen it and continued sobbing. I'm not making this up. You clearly said Liang Jin is just a pretty face with no substance, and the Liang family will fall into your hands sooner or later. With every word she spoke, Hui Yanzhou's face grew paler, yet my heart remained utterly calm. Without a single ripple of emotion, I no longer feel heartbroken by his cruelty. I just watched this farce unfold with cold indifference, observing them turn on each other. Enough, Hui Yanzhou finally snapped, slapping Yu Man across the face. The sharp sound of the slap echoed loudly in the quiet private room. Yu Man was struck to the ground, clutching her face as she stared at him in disbelief. You hit me. I hit you because you're a fool. Hui Yanzhou trembled with rage. Who gave you the right to act on your own? Do you have any idea you've ruined my entire plan? Tears streamed even more heavily down Yu Man's face. I just love you too much. I was afraid you'd leave me. Love me? Hui Yanzhou let out a derisive laugh as if hearing the most absurd joke. He crouched down, gripping Yu Man's chin with a menacing glare. What you truly love is the title of Mrs. Hua and the Hua family's wealth, isn't it? I'm not. Shut up. Hui Yanzhou shoved her away, stood up, straightened his disheveled collar, and resumed his haughty demeanor. He turned to me with a complicated gaze. Liang Jin, don't believe a word of that nonsense she just said. At this point, he still has the nerve to try and talk his way out of it. Hui Yanzhou. I stood up, walked over to him, and looked him straight in the eye. Do you really think I still believe you? His Adam's apple bobbed, but he said nothing. You know what I regret most? It's not that I loved you, I said, staring at him. It's that I didn't leave you with nothing the first time you betrayed me. With that, I turned away without another glance and walked out of the private room. Behind me echoed Yu Man's heart-wrenching sobs and Hui Yanzhou's suppressed roar. I knew it was over for them, and my revenge had only just begun. Brother Zhang is incredibly efficient. On the third day, he handed me an encrypted USB drive. It contained all the project data from the Hui Group over the past 5 years, particularly several overseas acquisitions. The accounts were a mess, with unclear fund flows, clearly suggesting money laundering and tax evasion. This is more than enough to put Hui Yanzhou behind bars for the rest of his life, but I'm not planning to hand over this evidence just yet. The cat-and-mouse game is only fun when played slowly. I want him to watch helplessly as the business empire he painstakingly built crumbles and collapses piece by piece. I will make him taste the same despair I endured in my past life. I anonymously mailed one of the documents exposing the Hua family's tax evasion to the tax authorities. Then I sat back and waited for the show to begin. Sure enough, the very next day, the tax authorities formed a special investigation team and made a high-profile entry into the Hua Corporation. The news dealt another blow to Hua Corporation's already precarious stock price, sending it plummeting below the IPO price. Shareholders panicked and rushed to dump their holdings. Meanwhile, I instructed Liang Ming to quietly scoop up these scattered shares on the secondary market. Hui Yanzhou was overwhelmed, desperately seeking help but meeting rejection at every turn. When a wall is about to collapse, everyone gives it a push. Those business partners who used to flatter him are now avoiding him like the plague. He finally understood the fickleness of human relationships. That evening, I received an unexpected phone call. It's the patriarch of the Hua family, Hua Zhenxiong. This old man, who once dominated Jiangqing, now has a voice filled with weariness and resignation. Liang Jin, my dear, let's meet up. I didn't refuse. The meeting place was at the Hua family's ancestral home. The courtyard house with its classic charm looked exactly as I remembered from our first meeting, though the place remained unchanged. Everything else was different. Hua Zhenxiong sat in an antique armchair, fingering a string of prayer beads, looking noticeably older than when I last saw him. Take a seat, he said, gesturing to the chair opposite. I did as I was told and sat down. A servant brought tea and then quietly withdrew. Only the two of us remained in the tea room. My dear, it's time to stop. Hua Zhenxiong broke the silence first. I know Yanzhou wronged you, but the Hua family cannot fall. Whatever compensation you want, I can give it to you. Just drop the lawsuit and hand over the evidence you have. Grandfather, I said calmly, looking at him. What if I told you that what I want is for Hui Yanzhou to lose everything? Hua Zhenxiong's hand, which had been moving the prayer beads, paused. He lifted his gaze, and a sharp glint flashed in his clouded eyes. My dear, always leave room for reconciliation. You never know when paths may cross again. I chuckled softly. I couldn't care less about what happens later. Hua Zhenxiong's face darkened completely. Do you really think you and your good-for-nothing brother can take down the Hua family? Hua Zhenxiong's voice dripped with disdain. Liang Jin, you're being naive. We'll see about that soon enough, I replied, lifting the teacup to take a delicate sip. Aren't you afraid I'll make sure neither you nor your brother leave Jiangqing alive? His words carried an undisguised threat. I set down my teacup and smiled. Grandfather, you've grown old. I rose to my feet, looking down at him with an air of superiority. The era where you could dominate Jiangqing single-handedly is long gone. Did you really think I'd come here unprepared? I pulled another document from my bag and placed it before him. This is evidence that Hui Yanzhou used offshore shell companies to siphon assets from the Hua Corporation. I believe the Disciplinary Inspection Committee would find this quite compelling. Hua Zhenxiong's pupils contracted sharply, his hands trembling. He picked up the document. The more he read, the paler his face became. Where did you get this? You don't need to know, I said, looking at him. Just understand that if I choose to, I can bring the Hua family to ruin at any moment. What exactly do you want? It's simple, I said coldly, my smile vanishing. I want Hu Yanzhou to leave with nothing. And I want a press conference where he publicly apologizes to me. Impossible. Hu Zhenxiong refused without hesitation, making him leave with nothing and demanding a public apology. That's worse than killing him. Then let him die, I said indifferently, shrugging my shoulders. You. Hu Zhenxiong pointed at me, trembling with rage and unable to speak for a long moment. Grandfather, my patience has its limits, I said, picking up my bag and preparing to leave. If I don't see the outcome I want by 8 a.m. tomorrow, this document will end up exactly where it belongs. 9. With that, I turned and walked out of the Hua family estate without looking back. I knew Hu Zhenxiong would cave in. He may have other descendants, but the Hua family's century-old legacy is one of a kind. Right on cue, at 7:50 the next morning, Hu Yanzhou's apology statement made headlines across all major media outlets. In the video, he wore a black suit, looking haggard and hollow-eyed, reciting his apology word for word to the camera. He admitted to cheating during our marriage, acknowledged he had failed me, and begged for my forgiveness. He looked like a lost dog, utterly dejected. Shortly after, my lawyer also received the divorce agreement signed by him. He gave up all his assets and chose to leave with nothing. The entire city of Jiangqing was completely shaken by the news. No one could have predicted that this high society divorce drama would come to such an unexpected conclusion. Meanwhile, Yu Man wasn't faring any better. After news broke of her knowingly being the other woman, major brands swiftly issued statements terminating their partnerships with Yu Man. Several television dramas she was filming urgently recast her roles, completely cutting all her scenes from production. Several companies she invested in saw their stock prices plummet due to her scandal, resulting in massive losses. Yes, overnight, she went from a red-hot rising star to public enemy number one. Refusing to accept defeat, she tried playing the victim on Weibo, claiming she was also deceived and emotionally manipulated by Hu Yanzhou. Unfortunately, netizens weren't having any of it. The comment section is filled with nothing but insults and mockery directed at her. Now you're playing the victim. Weren't you all high and mighty when you were wrecking someone else's family? Serves you right. This is exactly what homewreckers deserve. Get out of the entertainment industry. Yu Man has been completely blacklisted across all platforms. Her acting career utterly destroyed. She called me, sobbing over the phone, begging me to let her off the hook. Liang Jin, I know I was wrong. I truly know I was wrong. Please, show some mercy and give me a way out. / a way out. / I sneered. / when you sent me that video, did you ever think about leaving me a way out? When you and Hu Yanzhou teamed up to push me to the brink, did you ever consider giving me a way out? / She was left speechless by my question. Yu Man, you brought all of this upon yourself. I hung up the phone and blocked her number. Mercy to the enemy is cruelty to oneself. I learned this lesson at the cost of my life. After handling these matters, I could finally breathe a sigh of relief. With my assistance, Liang Ming's company has gotten back on track and is even showing signs of becoming Jiangqing's rising star, and I, in turn, have become the largest shareholder of the Liang Group. I thought my revenge had come to an end, but I never expected Hu Yanzhou would be so unwilling to let it go. 10. That day, as I was leaving the office, a black van blocked my path. Several burly men got out of the vehicle and, without a word, forced me into the car. I didn't resist, because I saw that the person in the driver's seat was Hu Yanzhou. His eyes, which I had once been utterly infatuated with, were now filled with a crazed hatred. Liang Jin, you didn't expect we'd meet again so soon, did you? He looked at me, bound hand and foot, through the rearview mirror with a sinister grin. What do you think you're doing? I asked calmly. Doing? He laughed heartily. Taking you somewhere special, of course. He started the car and drove off, heading along the winding mountain road out of town. I watched the scenery whizzing past the window with a sinking feeling in my chest. The car came to a stop at the edge of a cliff on the mountain peak. Hu Yanzhou dragged me out of the car and shoved me roughly toward the cliff's edge. The mountain wind was fierce, whipping my hair into a wild frenzy. Beneath my feet lies a bottomless abyss. It's almost the same scene as my previous life. Liang Jin, weren't you so capable? Weren't you such a master schemer? Hu Yanzhou stood behind me, his voice dripping with satisfaction. Did you ever scheme that you'd die here, even if you kill me? You won't escape either. I stared into the unfathomable chasm, surprised to find not a trace of fear in my heart. Run, why would I run? He laughed even more maniacally. Do you still think I'm that illustrious CEO? Hua? I've got nothing left to lose now, just this worthless life. Dragging you down to hell with me would be worth it. He advanced toward me step by step. You know what I regret the most? It's not the affair, he whispered into my ear, his voice so low only the two of us could hear. It's that I didn't just strangle you that night. Hui Yanzhou, you're pathetic, facing death and you still have the nerve to laugh. He seemed enraged by my smile, his hand snapping shut around my throat. The suffocating sensation washed over me once more. Just as I thought history was about to repeat itself, blinding headlights suddenly pierced through from the foot of the mountain, then came the piercing wail of police sirens. Hui Yanzhou's face instantly turned ashen. He stared in disbelief at the police cars speeding up the mountain road, then back at me. Did you call the police? I forced a strained smile. The moment he forced me into the car, the smartwatch on my wrist automatically triggered the alarm system and tracked our location in real time. Huyanzu, I said, looking straight at him, I told you, times have changed. He froze in place, his eyes filled with despair. The police quickly surrounded the area. Huyanzhou, you're surrounded. Drop the hostage now. Huyanzhou looked at me, a flicker of hesitation in his eyes. I knew he wanted to take me down with him, but just before he could make his move, a familiar figure rushed out from the police car. It's Shenmu, 11, he was my senior in college, and now he's the most promising young lawyer in Jiangqing. In my past life, he confessed his feelings to me, but I turned him down for an arranged marriage, even after my death. He defied the Hua family's influence and fought tirelessly to clear my name. In the end, it just fizzled out. Yanzhou, don't act rashly. Shenmu's voice was filled with urgency. Hui Yanzhou saw him as if he were a lifeline. Shenmu, you came at the perfect time. Tell them it's all a misunderstanding. Liang Jin came here of her own accord. This has nothing to do with me. He actually still wants to talk his way out of this. Some people never learn. Shenmu ignored him and looked at me. His eyes filled with concern. Xiao Jin, don't be afraid. The moment I saw Shenmu, the tension that had been gripping me finally began to ease. Senior, I called out softly, seeing that Shenmu was ignoring him. Hui Yanzhou grew frantic. He grabbed me by the neck and shouted at the police and Shenmu, stay back. If any of you come closer, I'll take her down with me. The situation reached a tense stalemate. Shenmu raised his hands to show he meant no harm, slowly approaching us step by step. Hui Yanzhou, calm down, it's not too late to stop now. Attempted kidnapping carries a sentence of just a few years at most, but if someone dies, you'll ruin your entire life. My life is already ruined. Hui Yanzhou's emotions flared up. It's all because of this bitch. She destroyed everything I had. If I'm going down, she's coming with me. With that, he tried to drag me toward the cliff's edge to jump. At that critical moment, Shenmu suddenly shouted at me, Xiao Jin, duck. I instinctively obeyed. Bang, a gunshot pierced the silence of the night sky. I felt the hand gripping my throat suddenly release its hold. Hui Yanzhou's body went limp and collapsed. A bullet hole appeared in the center of his forehead. It's a sniper. I'm safe now. Shenmu rushed over and pulled me into a tight embrace, his body trembling slightly. It's over now. Everything's going to be all right. The familiar scent of fresh grass enveloped me, leaning into his embrace. All the pent-up grievances and lingering fears I had suppressed deep within finally poured out in that moment. It was the first time I had shed tears since my rebirth, not because of Hui Yanzhou, but because of the overwhelming relief of surviving a near-death experience and the profound gratitude of being cherished. Hui Yanzhou is dead, attempted kidnapping, armed resistance to arrest, shot dead on the spot. This news didn't cause much of a stir in Jiangqing. A down-and-out stray dog. Nobody cared whether he lived or died. The Hua family's assets were seized on charges of tax evasion and illicit asset transfers. Just because he apologized doesn't mean I have to forgive him. Hua Zhenxiong's hair turned white overnight from the shock, suffering a stroke that left him paralyzed and confined to a hospital bed for the rest of his life. Yu Man didn't fare any better in the end. After being banned across all platforms, she was buried under a mountain of debt. To repay the debts, she was forced to entertain greasy wealthy businessmen. On one occasion, she was caught by the businessman's wife, stripped naked, beaten half to death, and thrown onto the street. The video of the incident went viral online. She became the laughingstock of the entire internet, eventually suffering a mental breakdown and being admitted to a psychiatric hospital. Truly, what goes around comes around. With Shenmu's assistance, I completely liquidated the Hua family's assets and successfully took over the Hua Corporation. The Liang Corporation also rose to become the largest enterprise in Jiangqing. Liang Ming and I have become the new legends of Jiangqing. As for remarriage, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. For now, things are just perfect as they are. Story 2, after 3 years of marriage. The rape case involving Fu Linzhou's mentor's daughter went viral online, sparking public outrage. All to preserve her family's scholarly reputation, Fu Linzhou hijacked my social media account to clarify, claiming I was the actual victim, and that Linlin had kept silent all this time to protect me. Facing my accusations, Fu Linzhou dismissed them casually. Linlin is my mentor's daughter. Their family comes from scholarly nobility, we can't tarnish their reputation. Besides, you've already been raped before, I'll make up for your suffering with love. In my past life, I fell for his honeyed words, only to end up being raped and murdered on a live stream for the entire internet to see. This time around, I slammed the divorce papers on the table. 1. Sweetheart, don't fall asleep, I'll carry you to the bath. My eyes flew open to see Fu Linzhou's sharply defined jawline. The searing pain from being stabbed and the dizziness from blood loss in my past life had vanished. Staring at the calendar on the nightstand, I suddenly realized I'd been reborn, returned to the moment before Fu Linzhou used my social media to proclaim I was the rape victim. At this moment, Fu Linzhou cradled me with utmost care, as if I were the rarest treasure in the world. I knew his rare tenderness and advances today were just to lower my guard. 5 minutes later, he would personally push me into hell. That's when he'd seize the moment during my shower to post from my social account, MS. Zhao Linlin is not the victim of the Cherry Park assault case. I am. I deeply regret that these past days have subjected the innocent MS. Zhao to suspicion and even doxing. While she protected me by never denying being the victim, I cowardly hid behind her. I'm truly sorry. The moment this message went out, my life would spiral into irreversible tragedy. Just as Fu Linzhou was about to place me in the bathtub and leave, I hooked my arms around his neck, gazing straight into his eyes. Fu Linzhou, do you truly love me? If I didn't love you, why would I have married you? Fu Linzhou ruffled my hair, his pupils held only me, that tender gaze like a spider's web. In my past life, it was this very look that fooled me into complete devotion. Until the day I died in that previous life, I truly believed he loved me. Fine, you can leave now. I want to enjoy a proper bath. Fu Linzhou exited the bathroom without hesitation. Staring at the closed door, I let out a cold chuckle. Fu Linzhou, don't you dare disappoint me. 2. A minute later, I stepped out of the shower wrapped in a towel. Fu Linzhou wasn't in the bedroom, and my phone that I'd left on the nightstand had disappeared too. I opened the safe in my bedroom, took out the documents, and went to the living room. The living room was dark, the glow from a phone screen illuminating Fu Linzhou's face as he frowned slightly with intense concentration. With a click, I flipped on the living room lights. Fu Linzhou looked up warily, a flicker of panic flashing in his eyes. I walked over and snatched the phone right out of his hand. My phone. The screen still displayed my social media page with a half-written post. MS. Zhao Linlin is not the victim of the Cherry Park assault case. I am. I deeply regret that these past few days have subjected the innocent MS. Zhao to suspicion and even doxing. I stared at the screen and suddenly burst out laughing. Fu Linzhou opened his mouth but remained silent. I lowered my head, finished composing the message, then held my phone up for him to see. Is this what you wanted to say? He looked at the message, then at me with surprise and hesitation, as if he couldn't understand my attitude, nor how I'd guessed his unspoken words. Every word of that passage used to cut into me like 1,000 knives. Fu Linzhou regained his composure and said patiently, Linlin's different from you. My mentor is a university professor, she comes from an educated family. Surrounded by cultured friends and relatives, the cyberbullying has already given her depression. If this continues, she'll die. What about me? Fu Linzhou rubbed his temples impatiently. You survived being raped before, didn't you? You got through it. I deleted this unsent message right in front of him. Fu Linzhou's face darkened. Be reasonable. I don't care whether you were violated or not, but society will judge Linlin. Consider this saving her life. I know this is unfair to you. And I'll make it up to you with more love. I desperately wanted to confront him. Zhao Linlin would have to face society's judgment, and I wouldn't. But suddenly, it all felt pointless. I placed the documents retrieved from the safe before Fu Linzhou. Sign these. The sight of the documents cracked Fu Linzhou's composed expression. 3. This document is a divorce agreement. This was the security I provided for Fu Linzhou when we got married. Fu Linzhou was an orphan raised by his scavenger grandmother. A poor boy whom my parents later sponsored, handsome yet rigid, he maintained an aloof demeanor with everyone, except me, as if he bore some special responsibility toward me. He enjoyed lecturing me like a teacher, tutoring me every weekend. I fell for him during those tender years of first love. For years afterward, I kept striving to follow in his footsteps. Eventually we drifted into a relationship, but I never truly felt his love or care. Before we married, I even humbly prepared divorce papers, promising to let him go if he ever found his true love. In the beginning, our marriage was relatively happy, until 3 years ago, when his mentor's daughter Zhao Linlin returned. His heart completely shifted toward Linlin, and I've been waiting all along for him to take the divorce papers out of the safe. In our past life, he never mentioned divorce, never retrieved those papers from the safe, so I foolishly believed there might still be love in his heart for me. You want a divorce? Fu Linzhou's voice trembled, his pupils shaking with shock. Just because I wanted to save Zhao Linlin, you'd divorce me? This time his voice steadied, but his eyes burned with stubborn confusion. I lowered my gaze. Don't you want to save Zhao Linlin? Just sign the divorce papers, and once the proceedings are finalized, I'll hold a press conference. Fu Linzhou's voice turned icy. Are you threatening me? When I remained silent, he spoke through gritted teeth. Don't think using divorce as leverage will make me yield. I've already found the least damaging solution. Why won't you just cooperate? I exhaled slowly, steadying myself. After the clarification, my tarnished reputation could harm your company. Divorce is the cleanest way out. Fu Linzhou visibly relaxed, though his tone still carried a hint of uncertainty. You really mean that? I nodded. Sign it. Seeing my calm expression, Fu Linzhou picked up the divorce papers and studied them for a while. You're leaving with nothing. Let me have the lawyer redraft. No need, just sign it. I want nothing from you, I said with forced patience. In this second chance at life, all I wanted was to sever all ties with Fu Linzhou completely. Don't be childish. I know I've wronged you this time. Name your price and it's yours. Just sign the papers. Seeing my resolve, Fu Linzhou finally relented and signed the divorce agreement. After signing, Fu Linzhou felt an inexplicable emptiness in his heart. He wanted to stay with Lin Yao a little longer, but she only left him with a resolute figure walking away. Lin Yao loved him deeply and would never leave him lightly. This divorce talk was just a passing mood of hers. As long as he comforted her properly afterward, they'd go back to loving each other like before. The next day, Fu Linzhou and I went through the formalities at the Civil Affairs Bureau. Since both parties wanted the divorce, we didn't have to wait through the cooling-off period. After the divorce was finalized, I immediately felt a weight lift off my shoulders, but right outside the door, I saw Zhao Linlin waiting there, dressed lightly for the weather. Just as I predicted, Fu Linzhou hastily took off his coat and draped it over her. You've just recovered from a cold, you shouldn't be here. This weather will be too much for you. Zhao Linlin pulled the coat tighter around herself. Yao Yao has sacrificed so much for me. The least I can do is thank her properly. Fu Linzhou ruffled Zhao Linlin's hair. You're always so considerate. It's only natural she'd do these things for you. I rolled my eyes discreetly. My duty, damn right it's my duty. In my past life, seeing this scene would have made me start a fight with Fu Linzhou immediately, but now I just want to walk away quickly, not letting them ruin my mood. Yet Zhao Linlin came sashaying toward me, clearly intent on stopping me. Probably can't wait to show off in front of me. Out of my way, mutt. I shoved her aside. I couldn't stand sharing the same air with that shameless pair for another second. Yao Yao, Zhao Linlin pouted, tears welling up instantly. I'm truly sorry for putting you through this, making you divorce Linzhou for my sake. I'll make sure he compensates you properly. Fu Linzhou shoved me aside. Lin Yao, how can you be so petty? Linlin is sick, she's fragile. Not like you. If you're angry, take it out on me. I wasn't about to take this insult lying down. I slapped Fu Linzhou across the face. Fu Linzhou looked completely stunned, staring at me in disbelief. You bitch, how dare you hit Linzhou? Zhao Linlin, however, lost her temper and came at me like a wild animal. She didn't act like a patient at all. Just as well, I wasn't about to indulge her tantrums. I rolled up my sleeves and lunged at her, and soon we were grappling violently. Zhao Linlin held in pain as I yanked her hair. Fu Linzhou quickly pulled me away, glaring at me with pure venom. Stop acting like a rabid dog biting everyone. I know you're bitter about the divorce, but once this blows over, we'll remarry. Linzhou, it hurts so much. please check it for me." Fu Linzhou rushed to tend to Zhao Linlin without even glancing my way. I touched my bruised lip, took a deep breath, straightened my clothes, and walked away. Though injured, I felt much better after venting my anger, following the same path as my past life. I gathered evidence proving Zhao Linlin staged her own rape before calling a press conference. Both Fu Linzhou and Zhao Linlin showed up at the event that day. I'm sure you're all wondering whether Zhao Linlin was actually raped. I can prove she wasn't. The moment I finished speaking, I could clearly see Fu Linzhou visibly relax with relief. He glanced at his phone, said a few words to Zhao Linlin, then hurried off. Zhao Linlin then walked shakily to the stage under her bodyguard's protection and took a seat beside me. "Miss Lin, if Ms. Zhao wasn't raped, then who was? Who's the person in those photos? Care to tell us who that really is?" Facing the reporter's aggressive questioning, I shot a glance at Zhao Linlin. She was just sitting there, waiting for me to confess with that smug look. How ridiculous. No one was raped. Okay, the woman in the photo is indeed Ms. Zhao Linlin, and the other person is her long-term boyfriend. There's nothing unusual about consensual intimacy between adults. Please stop blowing this out of proportion. Zhao Linlin suddenly stood up and pointed at me. "That's a damn lie. That's not me in the photo. Don't believe a word she says. Here's the evidence. I think everyone will find this quite interesting." With that, I revealed the photos of Zhao Linlin's dates with the male escort. The escort was quite famous at the club, so he was recognized immediately. "So she's dating a gigolo. No wonder she's been so wild. Looks like we're just pawns in your little game. Damn, you two should just get a room already. What a waste of public resources." The crowd erupted in playful teasing directed at Zhao Linlin. In my past life, I only learned the truth when Zhao Linlin gloated about it to me on my deathbed. The alleged rape was nothing but a staged drama she orchestrated to sabotage my relationship with Fu Linzhou. The male model wasn't a rapist, he was her long-term boyfriend. To gain Fu Linzhou's sympathy, she not only framed the model as a rapist but had him imprisoned. After learning the truth, I tried to contact the model to expose what really happened, but the male model was killed in prison, and I couldn't find any evidence, ultimately dying with injustice. Fortunately, it's not too late to set things right. Zhao Linlin watched as the situation spiraled out of control and frantically made a phone call. She was quickly taken away by Fu Linzhou's bodyguards. "You were married to Mr. Fu for 3 years, yet he consistently protected Ms. Zhao Linlin. How do you feel about that?" "We're already divorced. Whatever he does now has nothing to do with me." I raised my hand slightly. The ring finger had long been bare. After the press conference, I departed for Haicheng. Back then, I left my home in Haicheng without hesitation to follow Fu Linzhou and start anew in the capital. It was here that he met Zhao Linlin's family. Her father gave Fu Linzhou an opportunity that instantly elevated him to the capital's elite. For these past 3 years, Fu Linzhou has never forgotten the debt he owes to Zhao Linlin's father for recognizing his potential. Whenever Zhao Linlin needed his help, he'd drop everything to assist her without delay. At first, he'd forget our anniversary because of Zhao Linlin. Then it got worse. He actually wanted me to relive my rape trauma for her sake. I curse my blindness for entrusting my life to such scum. Now, no one gets to hurt me ever again. 6. Fu Linzhou called me, probably wanting to apologize after seeing the live stream. I answered the call only to be immediately met with his torrent of accusations. "Lin Yao, how could you act so recklessly? By making the evidence public, you've ruined Linlin's life. Her family values reputation above all else. What you've done is no different from killing her. I was wrong about you. Where are you? I'm coming to get you. We need to apologize to Linlin immediately. She's threatening suicide right now. How can you be so unreasonable? I know you've been wronged this time, but Linlin only resorted to this because she was being threatened. Just apologize properly, and we'll forgive you." Fu Linzhou grew increasingly agitated, but I'd lost all patience for his nonsense. After hanging up, I blocked all his contact information. Peace at last. Fu Linzhou remains as despicable as ever. I won't indulge his nonsense. The moment I arrived in Haicheng, my family had already arranged for someone to pick me up. "Yao Yao's back, and she's lost weight. It's all your fault, old man, for letting her go alone. Just thinking about the hardships our daughter faced out there breaks my heart." Mom's eyes welled up with concern as she held my hand, checking me over for any signs of distress. Even my usually stern father showed a hint of tenderness. "Now that you're home, that's what matters. No more tears. It's bad luck, you old fool." "Mom, Dad, I'm not going anywhere after this trip back. I just want to spend quality time with you both." My parents exchanged relieved smiles, both deliberately avoiding any mention of Fu Linzhou to spare my feelings, and I refused to let that scumbag Fu Linzhou ruin our family's happiness any longer. His mentor recognized his talent. That's the only kindness he acknowledges. So our family's financial support that enabled his success doesn't count as kindness, yet he never stops praising his mentor's recognition, completely forgetting our family's support. A textbook ingrate. Just mentioning him leaves a bad taste in my mouth. After returning home, I began taking over the family business. My father introduced me to various important business partners, and everything went smoothly. Rumor has it that a VIP from the capital is coming to Haicheng to expand his ventures. Securing a partnership with him would guarantee our company's prosperous future. That influential figure is Gu Chen, one of the capital's most prominent tycoons who owns countless enterprises, a true blue-blooded aristocrat, born with a silver spoon and a sharp mind. Every investment he sets his sights on turns to gold. In my past life, I only occasionally heard Fu Linzhou mention Gu Chen. Gu Chen was someone even Fu Yanchuan couldn't hope to rub elbows with. I've come fully prepared for this collaboration with Gu Chen, and I'm determined to make it a success. Knowing Gu Chen would attend the banquet hosted by Haicheng organizers that day, I arrived early to wait. Spotting Gu Chen's arrival, I immediately approached and greeted him. "Mr. Gu, how do you do?" Gu Chen paused mid-step, a flicker of surprise crossing his face before raising a finger to his lips in a hushed gesture. I nodded knowingly and motioned for him to continue the conversation on the balcony. "Tell me, how do you know me? I don't recall ever meeting you." Gu Chen frowned, clearly straining his memory to place me. "Do you remember the rape case from 10 years ago? I was the victim," I stated bluntly. A brief look of shock crossed Gu Chen's face before he composed himself. "So it's you. I'm truly sorry for what happened. I'm glad to see you're doing well now, thank you. I just wanted to say that today. Thank you for personally putting that monster behind bars." I bowed deeply, conveying my utmost gratitude. In my past life, Fu Linzhou offended a powerful figure who, in retaliation, kidnapped and raped me, the one who shadowed Fu's every day. Afterwards, they delivered me back to Fu Linzhou. Fu Linzhou tearfully promised to take responsibility, yet I resented his weakness, his inability to avenge me. Watching the villains roam free while justice failed weighed heavily on me, plunging me into severe depression. From that day on, Fu Linzhou, who used to barely acknowledge me, stayed by my side constantly, attending to my every need with meticulous care. Day after day, he'd whisper "I love you" to my pallid face. Fu Linzhou would move heaven and earth to fulfill my slightest wish. When Fu Linzhou knelt to propose, I hesitated, afraid he only wanted to marry me out of guilt. Yet I still remember the determination in his eyes when he confessed his love. "Yao Yao, my love for you transcends all constraints. I simply wish to cherish you. Please give me this chance." His honeyed words enchanted me. Mustering courage, I accepted, only to pay with my life. How ridiculous it seems now. Those grand vows of eternal love meant nothing in the end, yet Gu Chen, a complete stranger, chose to sacrifice himself to personally deliver that scoundrel to justice when he learned the villain remained at large. In my past life, I'd always wanted to thank him after hearing this, but never got the chance. Now the opportunity is here. I'll make sure he knows my gratitude. It was the least I could do. Seeing you doing well makes everything I did worthwhile. Gu Chen's tender words brought tears to my eyes instantly. Even a stranger could show me such kindness. Yet Fu Linzhou kept feeding me empty promises, never delivering on a single one until my dying day. I only have myself to blame for being blind enough to waste my life on that scumbag. After I shared my ideas with Gu Chen, he immediately recognized the investment potential in my project and verbally agreed to collaborate on the spot. With insights from my past life experience, I have an uncanny ability to predict market trends with precision, yet every time I propose an idea, Gu Chen always manages to grasp my train of thought almost instantly. I can't help but admire his exceptional business acumen. His current standing is entirely earned through his own capabilities. "What's on your mind? You seem lost in thought." I looked up to see Gu Chen across the table, already placing the sliced steak before me. His warm smile never faltered, his manners impeccable and conversation effortless. For a heartbeat I froze. Then my pulse raced wildly as a sudden heat rushed to my cheeks. Thank you." I stammered my thanks and immediately averted my gaze. I can't believe I've developed feelings for Gu Chen, but honestly, falling for someone as remarkable as him was only natural. But remembering my troubled past, I could only bury these budding feelings deep in my heart. Someone as extraordinary as him is beyond my wildest dreams. Just being by his side fills me with contentment. 7. Lin Yao. Do you have any idea how long I've been searching for you, and here you are sneaking around with some random man? You never change, do you? Throwing yourself at any man you see. Do you really enjoy being the town's laughing stock? Lin's been persuading me to reach out to you all this time. I finally gathered the courage to forgive you, and this is what I find. Having a romantic candlelit dinner with another man. You've completely let me down. Come home with us right now. I'm willing to let bygones be bygones and start fresh, but you must promise me you'll never meet another man behind my back again. Before I could fully process Fu Linzhou's words, he was already stepping forward to grab my arm. My body instinctively recoiled from Fu Linzhou's touch as I took several steps back. Stay away, we're done. Take one more step and I'm calling the police. Fu Linzhou clearly didn't expect such a strong reaction. He froze momentarily. He exhaled slowly, his expression softening. I know I wronged you before. You don't need to apologize to Lin anymore. I've already done it for you. She's forgiven you. Come home with me, please. Fu Linzhou restrained his impatience, adopting a gentler tone to coax me. In the past, I'd forgive him in a heartbeat if he showed even the slightest improvement in attitude, but now, the mere sight of him makes me sick. I've done nothing wrong and don't need you apologizing on my behalf. If you keep harassing me, I'll have you arrested. This is Haicheng. And I've got the connections to make it happen. Unless you want to trend on social media tomorrow, I suggest you get lost right now. Fu Linzhou's face flushed crimson with rage. How dare you threaten me, Lin Yao? Aren't you afraid I'll never forgive you? His hysterical outburst only struck me as laughable. If you've got nothing important to say, then leave. Don't interrupt my meal. After speaking, I ignored Fu Linzhou completely and shot Guchen an apologetic glance. Guchen smiled in understanding. Whether our exchange provoked Fu Linzhou or not, he suddenly lunged at Guchen like a cornered animal, ready to throw a punch. You bastard, she's mine. How dare you flirt with her right in front of me? I'll teach you a lesson you won't forget. Let's see if you'll ever mess with another man's woman again. Guchen sidestepped Fu Linzhou's attack with ease, then pinned him down with a swift countermove. Fu Linzhou kept struggling and hurling insults. I found his behavior utterly pathetic. Fu Linzhou, stop making a fool of yourself. Can't you see you're acting like a rabid dog? Fu Linzhou's face darkened as he struggled to speak. Lin Yao, how dare you think I'm an embarrassment? When you'd been passed around like some worn-out whore, I still took you in. I married you despite the shame, gave you dignity beyond measure, made those who mocked you green with envy. What right does a used-up slut like you have to laugh at me? 8. His vile words drained the color from my face. I strode forward and slapped him hard, once, twice, again. Fu Linzhou, how dare you? Get out. Never let me see your face again. Fu Linzhou was visibly stunned by my blow, his mouth opening and closing wordlessly. I turned and walked away. Even after being reborn into this life, the rape remains an unresolved knot in my heart, though I try not to dwell on it. The memory lingers within me, like a gaping wound that won't heal. The slightest movement makes fresh blood gush forth uncontrollably. What right does Fu Linzhou have to judge me? Wasn't my suffering entirely his doing? To think he'd compare me to a worn-out pair of shoes in his mind. No wonder he could hurt me so mercilessly every time. So deep down, he always believed I was unworthy of his kindness. All these years of marriage, he's been forcing himself to fake concern for me every single day. What a chore that must have been. I was wandering aimlessly when suddenly a coat draped over my shoulders. Turning around, I saw Guchen had caught up. I immediately lowered my head. Guchen simply adjusted the coat for me. The wind's picking up. Don't catch cold. I nodded, overwhelmed with mixed emotions, unsure how to face Guchen. Just thinking about my sordid past made me feel like my mere presence with someone like Guchen was a profanity to him. Yao Yao, may I call you that? Guchen asked politely. I nodded again, still unable to lift my head, at a loss for words to ease the awkwardness. Guchen seemed to reach out and pat my head. Don't dwell on his words. None of that was your fault. You don't have to live in the past. Move forward. There's so much ahead worth discovering, and you deserve all the beautiful things this world has to offer. I'm not good with words, but in my eyes, you're wonderful and resilient. I truly admire you. Guchen's firm words gave me courage. Slowly, I lifted my gaze to meet his earnest expression. I managed a faint smile. Thank you, Guchen. No need to thank me. If you ever need anything, just come to me anytime. I'll protect you. Nobody will ever bully you. Guchen's expression remained as solemn as before, The promise sounded unexpectedly sweet coming from his lips. Why are you so nice to me? I don't deserve this kindness. You'll make me misunderstand. My voice trailed off, and for a fleeting moment, I even thought Guchen might have feelings for me. I was startled by my own thoughts. There's no way Guchen could like me. I don't know why, but whenever I see you, I just want to be good to you. When I see you being bullied, I want to protect you. Does that bother you? If it makes you uncomfortable, I'll try to hold back, Guchen said honestly, without backing down an inch. Please don't avoid me. I just want to be your friend and spend more time with you. Hearing the pleading tone in Guchen's voice, I finally nodded. Yes, I'd like to be your friend too, Guchen. It wasn't just my imagination. Guchen clearly had special feelings for me, but I couldn't reciprocate yet. There were unresolved issues in my heart, and rushing into a relationship would only lead to trouble down the road, though my hesitation wasn't because I feared Guchen would betray me like Fu Linzhou did. I believe Guchen and Fu Linzhou are two completely different people. It just doesn't feel right to start something new with Guchen when I've got so much baggage unresolved. It wouldn't be fair to him. 9. When I got home, I received an apology text from an unknown number. Yao Yao, I spoke out of anger today. Those words didn't come from my heart. Please forgive me. You know how much I love you. No one in this world could love you more than I do. Once I've settled matters in Beijing, I'll come to Haicheng to be with you. If you love staying in Haicheng, I'll stay there with you. No more wandering. Just wait for me. I love you deeply, Yao Yao. After reading the texts, I promptly deleted and blocked him. Full-service ghosting, classic Fu Linzhou, hitting someone then offering candy, just like his usual manipulative playbook. Back then, he was determined to move to the capital for better career opportunities without hesitation, even knowing all my loved ones were in Haicheng. He had no reservations. Once decided on Beijing, nothing could stop him. My whole world revolved around him back then. Wherever he went, I'd follow without question. I left everything behind to build a new life with Fu Linzhou in that unfamiliar city, starting from scratch to create our home. In the beginning, Fu Linzhou constantly faced setbacks in his business ventures. He was always dealing with difficult clients, and whenever he encountered trouble, he'd bring me along to help resolve it. I accompanied him to countless drinking sessions, even developing stomach ulcers from overdrinking just to secure his business deals. It wasn't until his career took off that I gradually stepped back from the front line. Back then, Fu Linzhou promised me that once the company got back on its feet, he'd make me the happiest woman in the world. I kept waiting, only to hear news of him splurging on Zhao Linlin. Just because Zhao Linlin wanted a graduate advisor position, Fu Linzhou immediately invested in the university, became a board member, and secured the spot for her. From then on, he brought Zhao Linlin to every high-profile event, claiming it was his duty to introduce her to influential figures as repayment for her father's mentorship. Seeing them always together made me uncomfortable, but I kept biting my tongue. What Fu Linzhou and I have built didn't come easy. I wasn't about to let outsiders ruin it with pointless arguments, but my constant concessions only emboldened Fu Linzhou, making his behavior increasingly outrageous. When Zhao Linlin got reported for plagiarism, Fu Linzhou was the first to defend her, swearing she'd never copy and threatening consequences for anyone spreading malicious rumors behind her back. But at the same time, photos surfaced showing me accompanying Fu Linzhou to business meetings and social events. I was labeled a social butterfly on trending lists, so I asked Fu Linzhou to handle the PR crisis. He just said coldly, "Your reputation's already ruined, a little more damage won't matter. No point wasting resources on trivial matters. No matter what others say about you, you're the only one I love. Listen, in this world, my love is all you need." I was such a fool back then to believe Fu Linzhou's high-sounding excuses. Now Fu Linzhou's sweet talk turns my stomach like rotten garbage. Since he's hellbent on delivering himself to death's door, I won't hold back. 10. The collaboration with Guchen is progressing smoothly, and the buzz around this partnership has attracted more investments to the company. This scenario is a win-win for all of us, and we're thoroughly enjoying it. When things go too smoothly, it makes certain people restless. Soon enough, I was trending on social media again. The scandalous moment when Beijing's former socialite hooked up with Shanghai's nouveau riche. These are photos of me dining with various people, the same old dirty tricks at play. I immediately had someone track down the photo leaker, and just as I suspected, it was Zhao Linlin's doing. After gathering sufficient evidence, I filed a lawsuit against Zhao Linlin. Guchen anxiously sought me out. "I've already had the PR team handle everything. This won't affect you in any way," from now on, I'll have people closely monitor public opinion. You won't have to bear these baseless accusations again. This will never happen again. Don't be afraid, I'll protect you properly." Listening to Gu Chen's promises, my heart was already completely overwhelmed with emotion. I couldn't help but want to hug Gu Chen, and my body honestly followed through with the embrace. "Thank you, Gu Chen. So this is what it feels like to be cherished. I love this feeling so much. I'll never forget this for the rest of my life." Gu Chen tapped my head lightly. "Silly girl, this is just the beginning. Why are you so easily moved? If you're this sentimental, I'll have to stay on high alert. What if someone treats you slightly better and you just up and leave with them? But I won't give anyone that chance. I'll treat you so well you'll forget others exist," Gu Chen murmured rhetorically. I nodded. "Right now, you're the only goodness I see." We fell into a tight embrace, where only the sound of our synchronized heartbeats remained. Each thunderous pulse whispered the depths of our unspoken feelings. On the day of the court hearing, Gu Chen and I appeared together. Standing beside Zhao Linlin was Fu Linzhou. Fu Linzhou's eyes instantly reddened when he saw Gu Chen holding my hand. He angrily tried to approach, but got entangled with Zhao Linlin's tearful pleas. "Brother Zhou, please don't leave. I'm terrified. I didn't do anything wrong. Yet Yao Yao is taking me to court. I'm so scared. Right now, you're the only person I can truly rely on. I'm not like Yao Yao, who always has men lining up for her." Fu Linzhou wiped Zhao Linlin's tears and said, "You're nothing like her. You're pure. Don't ever follow her example. Once this is over, I'll make sure she apologizes to you. Now stop crying. You're turning into a little tear-stained kitten." "The cameras won't like puffy eyes, Zhou Ji." Zhao Linlin playfully thumped Fu Linzhou's chest. "This is a courtroom and I'm the defendant. How can you joke at a time like this? I'm scared out of my wits." "Don't be afraid, with me here, no one can hurt you." Fu Linzhou deliberately raised his voice. It felt like a challenge, but I refused to even glance his way. "After all, their days are numbered, Your Honor, members of the jury. I stand before you today to defend my reputation and dignity, Ms. Zhao Linlin has hired internet trolls to spread malicious. After presenting my statement and demands, I submitted the evidence. When it was Zhao Linlin's turn, she remained silent, only weeping incessantly about being wrongfully accused. 11. Fu Linzhou was the first to lose patience. He comforted Zhao Linlin, who was sobbing uncontrollably. Then he glared at me viciously. "Lin Yao, have you no heart? Linlin's crying her eyes out, yet you still insist on suing her. If anything happens to her, your miserable life wouldn't be enough to pay for it. I never thought you'd stoop this low. Drop the lawsuit now and apologize to Linlin, and I might pretend today never happened. Otherwise, don't expect my forgiveness, ever." God knows where Fu Linzhou gets his delusions, always thinking I'd come crawling back to him on my knees. He probably still thinks I'm madly in love with him and can't live without him. After all, I've been quite tolerant with him over the past few years. It's understandable he'd have such delusions. I'm ignoring him in court. Evidence speaks louder than tears. After hearing Zhao Linlin's litany of specious arguments, the judge finally ruled in my favor. Zhao Linlin was also detained for 7 days. I'm not entirely satisfied with this outcome, considering Zhao Linlin has wronged me multiple times, but no rush, I'll pay her back in due time. After Zhao Linlin was detained, Fu Linzhou didn't waste a single moment, bombarding me with messages demanding I sign a letter of forgiveness to secure her release. Perhaps realizing I was ignoring him, I returned home to find Fu Linzhou already seated in my living room. Though he groveled with exaggerated humility, my parents refused to give him even a hint of warmth, yet Fu Linzhou kept that plastered smile on his face, clearly determined to humble himself to the bitter end. He's really going all out for Zhao Linlin. But why drag my parents into this just because he wants to save Zhao Linlin? I flew into a rage. "What are you doing here? You're not welcome." Fu Linzhou noticed my return but pretended not to hear me. "Yao Yao's back." He reached for the coat in my hands, but I dodged his attempt. "I came all this way to cook your favorite plain congee. Can you forgive me? I know I was wrong." Fu Linzhou awkwardly withdrew his hand and went to the kitchen to serve the congee. "Here, it's cooled down now. You always loved my congee. See if it still tastes the same." Fu Linzhou presented it to me like a treasured offering, his face brimming with anticipation. "I never liked plain congee to begin with. Now that I despise you, everything you touch turns my stomach." I pushed the congee away. "If you want to save Zhao Linlin, find another way. Don't waste your time here. I'll never forgive her." Fu Linzhou's expression darkened instantly. "After all my efforts to appease you, you're still ungrateful. If you hadn't dragged Linlin to court, she wouldn't be arrested. And my mentor's family wouldn't be tarnished by scandal. Lin Yao, you used to have my back and everything. But now you're getting on my nerves at every turn. I work myself to the bone every day just to get to Haicheng sooner to be with you. And all you do is make things harder for me. Can't you see how much I'm sacrificing? Fu Linzhou grew angrier with every word until, with a loud crash, he hurled the bowl of congee to the floor, the very picture of wounded pride. 12. I watched his tantrum with icy detachment. Stop making a scene, the sight of you makes me sick. Fu Linzhou clearly didn't expect me to be so heartless, a wounded expression flashing across his face instantly morphed into a pitiful look as he gazed at me. I didn't mean to. I just wanted us to go back to how we were. Please forgive me, Yao Yao. Suppressing my inner contempt, I knew if I kept arguing with him, he'd just keep pestering me endlessly. Spit it out. What do you want? I cut straight to the point, seeing my expression soften. Fu Linzhou's face lit up with joy. I knew you had feelings for me. I came to offer a letter of forgiveness to save Lin Lin. You know she's my mentor's daughter. Their family values reputation above all. If any scandal taints Lin Lin, it would ruin my mentor's entire legacy. Fu Linzhou paused, as if carefully choosing his words. I don't want to owe Lin Lin anything. You know how I despise being indebted. It becomes an endless cycle of obligation. Such imbalanced relationships suffocate me. Watching his troubled expression, I couldn't help but feel a bitter irony. So you want me to repay the favor you owe? Do you really think that's fair to me? Why must you be so harsh? Between us, there should be no such distinctions. If you truly love me, you should give me everything, just as I would for you. Fu Linzhou, you're utterly shameless. Today, you've sunk to a new low. Just because I love you, does that mean I should endure all the pain that comes with it? You must have a serious wiring issue in your brain to come up with such a ridiculous excuse. What's more, I've told you repeatedly that I don't love you anymore and asked you to stop harassing me, but you never listen. I'm done reasoning with you. If you keep bothering me, I'll call the police immediately. As for Zhao Linlin, find someone else if you want to save her. I'll never forgive that woman in this lifetime, so don't even think about getting any sympathy from me. After my long-winded speech, I let out a deep sigh. Yao Yao, don't say things in anger. If you don't love me, then I'll never find anyone who does. Fu Linzhou is absolutely ridiculous. To think he still believes I can't live without him at this point, utterly unreasonable. The angrier I got, the more excited Fu Linzhou became, which only irritated me further. My father finally lost his patience. Fu Linzhou, my daughter already detests you this much. Stop provoking her. I was civil to you before because she still cared for you, but if you persist in this delusion, don't blame me for being ruthless. Hearing my father's harsh words, Fu Linzhou looked stunned. Dad, Yao Yao and I have fought before, but you always mediated. Now that I'm begging for her forgiveness, not only do you refuse to help, but you're trying to tear us apart. What kind of twisted motive is this? You're utterly shameless. My mother pointed at him furiously. Our family gave you too much respect before, making you forget your place. When my daughter's been wronged, should I side with her or an ungrateful wretch like you? 13. Fu Linzhou paled, his brows furrowing. Yao Yao, is that how you see me too? How could you think that of me? After everything we've been through together, no one understands you better than I do. You'll stay by my side for the rest of your life. Before I could respond, Fu Linzhou began his self-deluded monologue. I was utterly speechless. With someone like Fu Linzhou who refuses to listen to reason, any further words would be wasted breath. The door's right there. Leave now or I'm calling the police, I said coldly, my patience wearing thin. Only then did Fu Linzhou seem to notice my unusual mood. Yao Yao, are you angry with me? I let out a cold laugh, shot him a look reserved for idiots, and immediately dialed the police on my phone. Fu Linzhou's expression darkened instantly as he lunged for my phone, but I dodged his grasp. Off balance from the failed grab, his head slammed into the corner of the table. Blood, I'm bleeding. Yao Yao, Fu Linzhou is putting on a pitiful act to gain my sympathy. Back in the day, even the tiniest scratch on him would break my heart, and I'd immediately grab the first aid kit to patch him up. Now it just makes me sick. Only when the police call connected did Fu Linzhou finally drop his performance. I'm leaving. Don't think I'll let the Linlin matter rest, you'll see. I watched him leave with a stony face. Fu Linzhou, that man who values his pride above all else, turns into a complete coward when push comes to shove. Seeing this situation, my parents began blaming each other while regretting ever supporting Fu Linzhou financially. What an ungrateful wretch. I gradually calmed them down, though I couldn't shake the worry that Fu Linzhou might do something reckless. I've been swamped with company affairs every day since then, and the surveillance on Fu Linzhou hasn't turned up anything noteworthy. Only then could I fully immerse myself in my work. In my past life, I became a clinging vine dependent on Fu Linzhou for survival. His love was like an elixir of life to me, utterly priceless. He probably knew I had no other purpose in life but to stay by his side, which is why he kept crossing the line to hurt me. But now I've built my own career, and every day feels different. I've also met a boyfriend who truly adores and respects me. All of this is such rare happiness for me, and I cherish it more each day. Guchen wanted to make our relationship public, saying he wanted to give me a strong sense of security, but I declined. I know Guchen loves me deeply and would never hurt me. When it comes to feeling secure, he's already given me more than enough. Though we don't flaunt our relationship on social media, all his close friends and family know about me. This is completely different from Fu Linzhou, who only knows how to put on a show. In the end, Fu Linzhou begged countless people before finally managing to get Zhao Linlin released. The moment Zhao Linlin got out, she came straight for me, only to be stopped by my people. Even after all that, she wouldn't let it go, staking out my place daily. Only now do I realize Zhao Linlin's practically a psychopath, but I'm not scared at all. I've hired enough bodyguards to keep me safe. If Zhao dares make a move, I'll have her thrown back behind bars in no time. Yet when Fu Linzhou saw Zhao's meltdown, he couldn't sit still, even got a new number just to harass me. I just answered the call, but hung up immediately upon hearing his voice. Moments later, his text message came through. Lin Yao, you've really crossed the line this time. Can't you just pay some attention to Lin Lin? She's been threatening suicide daily, and the teachers are turning gray with stress. I won't let you off so easily this time. Just you wait. 14. The message's contents made me snort with derision. I can't figure out what I've ever done to make Fu Linzhou think he still has the right to strut around in front of me. Rubbing my aching head, I sank into deep thought. What's on your mind? You seem miles away. I made pear soup for you. Have some to nourish yourself. You've lost weight recently. When I came to my senses, Guchen had already ladled the soup and placed it before me. Nothing special. I took a sip of the soup. The subtle sweetness with rich pear aroma was just to my taste. This is delicious. I couldn't help but take several more sips. It really hit the spot. Easy now. There's plenty more. Don't choke. After I finished drinking, Guchen ladled another bowl and placed it before me. My eyes remained fixed on him, brimming with unconcealed adoration. He's not just principled, but also incredibly considerate. He respects my career and takes care of me in every way. I'm falling for you more and more. Guchen. The sudden confession made Guchen blush instantly. The usually composed CEO actually responded with an uncharacteristically shy smile. His reaction was utterly adorable. Unable to resist, I leaned in and stood on tiptoe to peck his thin lips. In a swift reversal of roles, he cupped my head and kissed me deeply. Only when we were both breathless did he reluctantly pull away, gently smoothing my tousled hair. His flushed eyes betrayed restrained desire. If you want. I'm ready. Nestled in Guchen's arms, I listened to his pounding heartbeat and whispered softly. Guchen held me tightly, burying his face in the crook of my neck for a deep breath before gradually releasing me. He tapped my nose lightly and said, "It's not the right time yet. I haven't properly prepared." My heart sank to the pit of my stomach when I heard Guchen say he needed more time. Is Guchen bothered by my past? Does he need time to process this? This possibility made me sink even deeper into gloom. Regret coiled around my chest like a venomous serpent, choking the breath from me. After what felt like an eternity, I finally gathered the courage to ask, Do you mind my past?" My voice faded, but tears streamed uncontrollably down my cheeks. What happened in the past wasn't my fault. In fact, I was the victim. But these things truly and undeniably happened to me. I deeply regret not being able to give Guchen the best version of myself. The thought of these things creating distance between us breaks my heart. I love Guchen deeply, but if this truly bothers him, I'd willingly let go of our relationship, though it would pain me greatly. I couldn't bear to force him into anything. Someone as exceptional as him could easily find a partner 1,000 times better than me. At least that person was decent. Guchen saw my tears and tenderly wiped them away. He probably understood my concerns too. After a long pause, he pulled me into a tight embrace and said, "Yao Yao, it's not your past I love, it's who you are now." What I meant by getting ready was to prepare thoroughly for our first time, so we could both have a beautiful memory of it. I'm truly sorry if my words weren't clear enough and made you doubt yourself. He leaned down and kissed away my tears. I love you, the person you are, the past doesn't matter, as long as you're the one in my future. 15. Hearing Gu Chen's heartfelt confession. My mood couldn't help but lift. I never doubted whether his words were true or false. When it comes to Gu Chen, I choose to believe him unconditionally. He had no reason to lie to me anyway. As long as he truly wants to be with me, I'll match his sincerity with equal devotion. Gu Chen, thank you for coming into my life, for walking beside me through the years ahead. Meeting you in this lifetime is the greatest fortune. I'll love you wholeheartedly. Being loved by you is my greatest fortune. And I promise to cherish you just as deeply. Ms. Lin Yao. Gu Chen gazed at me with the poise of a true gentleman, his profound affection evident yet never overstepping boundaries. Every gesture of his made our hearts flutter uncontrollably. I must be falling head over heels in love. Before we knew it, our lips met again in an irresistible kiss. Click. Suddenly, I heard the sound of a camera shutter. Opening my eyes, I saw Zhao Linlin pointing her phone at me. She even waved her phone triumphantly. Lin Yao, you shameless woman, daring to keep a lover behind Zhou's back right in the office. Do you think he'll still adore you like before when he sees this photo? Once he sees those pictures, he won't be thinking about you anymore. He'll be with me then, and we'll get married. I fell in love with him the moment I saw him. If you hadn't met him first, he would have fallen for me too. After all, even though you two were married, every time I needed something, he'd help me without hesitation, even if it meant dropping everything with you. If you hadn't usurped my place, Zhou and I wouldn't be struggling like this. Just wait, Zhou will dump you eventually. Listening to Zhao Linlin's incoherent ramblings, I could only conclude she'd lost her mind to be this utterly self-destructive. First of all, Fu Linzhou and I are already divorced. Now he's nothing more to me than an ex-husband. As for Zhao Linlin's claim that Fu Linzhou still cares about me, I've lost all interest in verifying it. It simply isn't worth my time. I had no desire to keep engaging with Zhao Linlin, but seeing an opportunity to use her, I finally spoke up. If you love Fu Linzhou so much, why don't you just marry him already? What's taking him so long to propose? Zhao Linlin's face flushed with alternating shades of pale and crimson under my sarcastic remarks. After a long pause, she finally snapped, if it weren't for you, this shameless temptress seducing brother Zhou, we'd be married by now. He even bought me a custom-designed ring, put so much thought into it. He designed it himself as a symbol of his undying love for me. Go ahead, be jealous. She couldn't resist flaunting the ring on her finger. Seeing that ring still stung a little. It was a design I created specifically for Fu Linzhou and me, two snow-white doves cradling a golden diamond, symbolizing pure and flawless love. After finalizing the design, I kept asking Fu Linzhou to have it custom-made. He always agreed verbally but never lifted a finger. I genuinely thought the ring would remain just a sketch, never materializing into reality. Little did I know Fu Linzhou had already commissioned the design and given it to Zhao Linlin. Now every time I recall him professing his love to me, it just makes me sick to my stomach. Fu Linzhou truly embodies hypocrisy and shamelessness to the fullest. 16. Seeing my silence, Zhao Linlin assumed she'd hit a nerve, so she uttered a few harsh words and left. A short while later, I opened my phone and saw the trending topic. The socialite reaches new heights, office play. Below that were photos of Gu Chen and me. The pictures had been doctored, only my face remained. Everything else was replaced with nudity, so explicit it would need to be censored to be posted. I calmly turned off my phone. It seemed Zhao Linlin hadn't learned her lesson from her last stint. Developing a habit of spreading rumors online at the drop of a hat really isn't a good idea. After all, you might just end up back inside. Should I have someone take care of this? Gu Chen asked me with concern, clearly displeased by the news, yet he still patiently sought my opinion, just like when Zhao Linlin insulted me earlier. Though furious, he restrained himself and waited for my instructions. Every little detail about him makes my heart skip a beat. No need, this time I won't let her off so easily like last time. If she refuses to learn her lesson, another round won't make any difference. I tugged at Gu Chen's hand. I've prepared a much bigger surprise for her. All we need to do now is wait patiently, let the bullet fly for a while. The outcome will come eventually. Alright, as you wish. Gu Chen chuckled adoringly, showing not a trace of doubt in my words. Gu Chen was walking me home when we saw bodyguards surrounding Fu Linzhou the moment we reached the entrance. Let go of me. Do you even know who I am? I'm Lin Yao's husband. When she sees you treating me like this, she'll make you pay. Ah, that hurts. Stop hitting me, you bastards. It hurts, it hurts. No matter how Fu Linzhou screamed and cursed, the bodyguards kept pummeling him relentlessly. That's because I'd specifically ordered them to show no mercy if they ever saw Fu Linzhou again. The bodyguards followed my instructions to the letter. They deserve recognition. Yao Yao, how dare he still claim to be your husband? This is outrageous. I want to punch him myself. Gu Chen spoke through gritted teeth beside me. I kissed Gu Chen's lips reassuringly. I've completely cut ties with him. Trust me, you're the only one I love now. The corners of Gu Chen's mouth lifted. Of course I believe you. In the past, you'd have rushed to Fu Linzhou's defense if you saw him getting beaten. But your indifference now proves you feel nothing for him anymore. Have we met before? I instinctively countered, mentally scrambling to recall any past encounters with Gu Chen, but I never managed to find anything substantial about Gu Chen, only catching glimpses of him in financial news or TV interviews. Of course I've seen you. I noticed you long before you ever noticed me, but I'd rather not say just yet. I want to keep it as a surprise for the right moment. Watching Gu Chen play his mysterious act, curiosity burned within me, yet I didn't press him to continue. I know it's time. If he wants to talk, he'll spill everything. The realization that Gu Chen had known me for so long stirred a quiet anticipation in my chest. 17. Gu Chen and I talked in the car for ages before finally stepping out, only to find Fu Linzhou barely conscious after the bodyguard's beating. He was sprawled pathetically on the ground, begging for mercy between gasps. The sight was so cringe-worthy I could barely look at it. When Fu Linzhou opened his eyes and saw me, he was struggling to get up from the ground. Yao, you're back. Tell me the man in that photo wasn't real. It's all fake. The moment Fu Linzhou was about to touch me, Gu Chen shielded me behind him. I'm afraid you'll be disappointed. I'm very real. Yao and I are dating now, so stay the hell away from her. Piss me off. And I'll make sure you never survive in this city. Fu Linzhou's eyes widened in shock at Gu Chen's face. Impossible. CEO Gu, how could you be with Yao? Don't you know she was raped? How can you stomach that? Only I can accept her imperfections. Shut your filthy mouth, or I'll shut it permanently. Gu Chen yanked Fu Linzhou by the collar and landed several brutal punches. Scum like you doesn't deserve her. Stay the fuck away from us, or you'll regret ever crossing me. Beaten into a dazed stupor, Fu Linzhou still kept muttering about how I wasn't good enough for Gu Chen. Maybe he thought constant belittlement would make Gu Chen give up on me. Fu Linzhou, you're nothing but a despicable coward in my eyes now. What makes you think I'd stay with trash like you? Is it your daily put-downs? Or how you always treated me as second choice? I was never your priority. Admit it, you think I'm tainted and unworthy of you now, don't you? No. Yao, you know that's not what I meant. Fu Linzhou shook his head urgently and moved to grab my hand. I recoiled in disgust. Whatever your motives are for constantly reappearing in my life, I made it clear long ago that we're done. If you keep harassing me, getting beaten up will be the least of your worries. Pain flashed in Fu Linzhou's eyes. Why do you always say things I can't understand? Yao, let's go back to how we were. We'll remarry today. Don't leave me. You promised we'd reconcile once the Linda situation was resolved. You can't break your word now. I never agreed to reconcile with you. I have no feelings for you whatsoever. Just thinking about you makes me sick. I took several steps back, my head pounding from his self-delusional nonsense, but Fu Linzhou wasn't ready to let it go. As he moved to persuade me again, Gu Chen gave a quick signal. Bodyguards promptly dragged Fu away. Has he always been this smug and impossible to reason with? He's out of his mind. 18. I've had people monitoring the online chatter, but didn't intervene. It wasn't until someone told me about Zhao Linlin and Fu Linzhou's press conference that I paid attention to the matter. When I tuned into the live stream, I saw Fu Linzhou pushing a wheelchair carrying a pale Zhao Linlin with disheveled hair. You could tell at a glance she was having a miserable life. Seeing Zhao Linlin in such a state, the viewers in the live chat expressed their sympathy. As expected, the victim is always the most pitiful one, while the perpetrator is still flirting with that scumbag. Couldn't agree more. If I ever see that woman, I'll bash her head in. She's absolutely shameless. Who'd actually want someone like her? Aren't they worried about catching something? She's got that perfect mix of innocence and seduction in her face. Bet she'd be wild in bed. Dude, you don't need to be this desperate. Your health comes first. 11:11. I calmly watched the torrent of online vitriol as Fu Linzhou tenderly draped a cloak over Zhao Linlin's shoulders in the footage. All previous accusations against our Linlin were slanderous fabrications by Ms. Lin Yao. After she was raped years ago, I magnanimously married her despite our history and shielded her from gossip. Yet instead of gratitude, she deliberately framed my mentor's daughter Zhao Linlin. Everyone knows I treat Linlin like my own sister. seeing how cruelly Lin Yao has tormented her breaks my heart. I'm willing to provide evidence regarding Lin Yao's rape. My intention isn't to harm her, but to reveal the truth and show everyone her true character. Finally, I hope everyone will stop discussing Lin Lin. She's already on the verge of a mental breakdown, any further distress would be unbearable for her. Thank you all. I watched in horror as Fu Linzhou actually produced the torn clothes from my rape. The images assaulted my vision as traumatic memories flooded my mind like a tidal wave. I completely lost the ability to think, my body trembling uncontrollably as my sanity slowly crumbled. Let go of me. When Guchen arrived, he saw me huddled tightly in the corner. My hands clasped over my head. The live broadcast was still ongoing, with Fu Linzhou and Zhao Linlin colluding, playing good cop, bad cop, and dumping all the blame on me. Don't look, don't listen, none of this is real, none of this is real. A strange fear welled up inside me, terrified that Guchen would leave me because of it. Memories from the past assaulted me indiscriminately, leaving me feeling incredibly vulnerable. Guchen quickly shut down his computer and came over to hold me tightly. It's okay, it's all over now, all of it, don't be afraid, I'll always be right here with you. He gently smoothed my hair, then scooped me up in his arms like a princess, whispering comforting words with undivided attention. His tender care twisted my heart with guilt, waves of remorse washing over me. I loathe Fu Linzhou and his ilk. How dare they rip open my wounds in public just to satisfy their selfish whims? They will pay for this. Mark my words, be strong, don't let them defeat you. I slowly tried to cheer myself up internally, but my mood remained very low. Once you get past that mental hurdle, many things gradually stop bothering you. Don't overthink it, you're doing great already, let me handle the rest. Okay, you don't have to force yourself, you can always lean on me, Guchen said, as if sensing my struggle. His words stirred waves of emotion in my heart, until tears finally spilled over and dampened his shoulder. 19. Following Guchen's advice, I stepped back from the matter and gradually worked on calming my emotions. These days, I spend my time gardening and playing with the dogs at the villa, living in quiet contentment, but deep down, I still felt this suffocating resentment that I just couldn't shake off. Guchen had already helped me suppress the online rumors and cut off funding to Fu Linzhou's company, pushing him to the brink of bankruptcy. As for Zhao Linlin, it wouldn't take much digging to unearth countless scandals about her. I wouldn't even need to lift a finger, her own past actions would be enough to ruin her reputation. Just as I was feeling down, Fu Linzhou appeared before me again. This time, however, Fu Linzhou looked utterly disheveled and haggard. His eyes held an indescribable regret as he looked at me. Could he possibly be here to beg me to have Guchen let him off the hook? I didn't even want to spare him a glance, but he stubbornly blocked my path. Lin Yao, do you honestly believe someone as exceptional as Guchen could ever truly accept you? Stop dreaming. Even if he could accept you, what about his powerful family? For a prestigious family like theirs, reputation is everything. Who would ever want a soiled woman? I advise you to come to your senses soon. If you come back and beg me now, I might still forgive you. Otherwise, when you're eventually cast aside, don't expect me to lift a finger for you. Hearing Fu Linzhou's words, my anger flared. I stormed over, yanking his hair violently before slapping his face repeatedly with full force. Soon, vivid handprints emerged on Fu Linzhou's face, yet my rage remained unquenched. Seeing me pause, Fu Linzhou suddenly knelt before me. Yao Yao, keep hitting me. Only your blows can ease my guilt. I was possessed by demons when I chose to hurt you that way. I regret it with every fiber of my being. Hit me some more. Maybe after beating me senseless you'll forgive me. I'm a complete bastard, I deserve to die. Fu Linzhou grew increasingly agitated, slapping himself repeatedly with rising intensity. The pathetic sight of him now only filled me with contempt. I watched his meltdown with cold detachment. Nothing but seething hatred remained in my heart. No, and I feel sick. Fu Linzhou, I've never found you as disgusting as you are right now. If you have any conscience left, get out of my sight immediately. After spitting out those harsh words, I pointed to the door and told Fu Linzhou to get lost. Fu Linzhou seemed even more pained after hearing me. Yao Yao, I had no choice. My heart will always have a place for you. Ugh, disgusting. I spat at Fu Linzhou. What little manners I had left couldn't tolerate Fu Linzhou's antics any longer. Just then, Zhao Linlin appeared out of nowhere, witnessing me spitting at Fu Linzhou. You bitch, how dare you bully brother Zhou? You'll pay for this. With that, she lunged at me like a rabid dog. Caught off guard, Zhao Linlin slammed into me with such force that I lost my balance and crashed into the wall. My head throbbed worse by the second. what's wrong with security today? They keep letting these suspicious characters get near me. If someone hits me, I'm hitting back. No way I'm swallowing that anger. In no time, I rolled up my sleeves and got into a scuffle with Zhao Linlin. Thanks to Guchen taking me to self-defense classes earlier, I was in much better shape than Zhao Linlin. It quickly turned into me beating Zhao Linlin one-sidedly, cowering on the ground with her hands over her head. Zhao Linlin screamed, "Brother Zhou, save me, Lin Yao's trying to kill me, she's a complete lunatic." After hearing what she said, I hit even harder, and soon Zhao Linlin's face was a swollen mess. I was so focused on beating Zhao Linlin that I didn't realize Fu Linzhou was quietly approaching me. 20. Suddenly, I felt my mouth and nose covered, and immediately, all strength drained from my body. I looked back to see Fu Linzhou holding a cloth over my mouth, his eyes revealing a clear, unsettling madness. "Soon, very soon, the whole world will know you belong to me alone, Yao Yao. After this, I'll make sure you can never leave me for the rest of your life." His words sent chills down my spine. I desperately fought to stay conscious, determined to see where Fu Linzhou was taking me. But my consciousness gradually faded until I sank into complete darkness. Now all our last hope rests with Gu Chen. Thankfully, he makes time to visit me daily. If he finds me missing, he'll surely send people to look for me. When I came to again, I found myself in an unfamiliar, vast and monotonous hall surrounded by darkness, making me frown involuntarily. I began calculating how to save myself. I tried to move, only to find my hands and feet shackled in iron chains. The slightest movement made the wound sting unbearably. "Let me out, get me out of here," I screamed at the top of my lungs, but no one answered, only my own echo replied, "I guess this must be the suburbs. I need to keep my cool before Guchen finds me." I kept praying in my heart for Guchen to come rescue me. Suddenly the door swung open, and Fu Linzhou walked in carrying all sorts of things. And he had the smug grin plastered across his face. "Yao Yao, you're awake. I brought you lots of your favorite foods. There's roasted sweet potato from East Street and cornmeal porridge from West Market. You used to always nag me about wanting to eat these, but I was always too busy to take you. Now, I have all the time in the world. I'm going to make good on every promise I made to you that I never got around to fulfilling. So, are you looking forward to our future together? I've just realized that as long as I'm in the same space as you, I feel incredibly happy, Yao Yao. My heart and my body are both telling me they've fallen deeply in love with you." Ugh, I couldn't help but feel nauseous after hearing Fu Linzhou's words. I hunched over, dry heaving repeatedly. Fu Linzhou's expression shifted, and it took him a long moment before he finally brought me some water. "Here, drink some water to calm down." When he tried to pat my back, I instinctively jerked away. The iron shackles around my wrists and ankles dug deep into my flesh from the sudden strain, leaving angry red marks. I bit my lip hard, not making a sound. A flicker of hurt crossed Fu Linzhou's face when he saw my resolute decision to leave him. Soon he forced a reassuring smile. "All right, I won't touch you then. Drink some water and eat something, or you'll collapse from exhaustion." This time, after arranging everything, Fu Linzhou maintained a deliberate distance from me. My guard slowly began to drop. "I'm really weak right now. I have to eat, or my body won't be able to hold on." I slowly took a few sips of the porridge and felt my strength gradually returning. 20. Seeing this, Fu Linzhou's smile returned, but seeing my distant expression, he never dared to take another step closer. "Fu Linzhou, you're committing a crime right now. Sooner or later, you'll end up in jail. Aren't you afraid?" "No, I'm not. I've already lost everything anyway. So now's the time to enjoy myself." After Fu Linzhou finished clearing away the food, he waved his hand and gave a bitter, helpless laugh. "I just want to cherish the time we have together, even if I know you don't love me anymore. But I still want to possess you." Seeing my silence, Fu Linzhou turned on the projector and put on my favorite movie, Titanic. "Let's start with watching a movie together. Yao Yao, will you talk to me? I promise I won't hurt you during this time." Fu Linzhou pleaded in a low, humble voice. I can't fathom what act you're putting on, playing the devoted martyr in front of me, yet tearing me apart for Zhao Linlin's sake. Are you doing this to indulge your vulgar whims? If so, you're truly despicable. Fu Linzhou, you're nothing but a selfish, petty man. Someone like you doesn't deserve happiness. I spat venomously, watching him do the very things I'd once longed for him to share with me. Not only was I not happy in the slightest, but I actually felt utterly disgusted. His utter hypocrisy sickened me to my core. I've never felt I did anything wrong regarding Linlin. She's my mentor's daughter, and I can't owe her anything. If I were to ever wrong her, My inner balance would slowly tip. If she were to ask me to marry her, I wouldn't be able to refuse. After all, her father's kindness and recognition of my talent mean everything to me. Without his help, I wouldn't be where I am today. But Yao Yao, you're different. You're the only one in my heart. I may owe you many promises now, but I'll make it up to you when time allows. Fu Linzhou nearly made me laugh in frustration. Enough, I won't waste time on pointless conversations. Let the past stay buried. Guchen will find me soon, and then we'll be completely done. You'd better mean what you say, hurt me even slightly, and I'll make sure you pay dearly for it. Though my words sounded firm, I felt no real conviction behind them. Since I'm currently dependent on others, the only thing I can count on is Fu Linzhou's guilt towards me. Fu Linzhou's face contorted instantly. What makes you trust Guchen so much? He's nothing but a hypocrite. If you hadn't married me so early, he would have already made his move on you. What happened back then was mostly because I offended someone, but Guchen isn't entirely blameless either. Because he was the one who introduced me to that business deal. He orchestrated everything. After you got hurt, that bastard kept showing up to take responsibility, but I chased him away every single time. The bastard's clearly up to no good. You two aren't even involved, yet he shamelessly forces his way in pretending to care. I bet he staged that accident just to claim you. What a hypocrite. 21. Shut your mouth. You're not worthy of even saying Guchen's name, I roared at Fu Linzhou. Guchen's nothing like how he described. Trash like him sees everything through a filthy lens, typical of a rotten mind. I'm truly impressed by Fu Linzhou's psychopathic tendencies. He always finds a way to justify everything he does. Fu Linzhou flinched when I yelled at him, then quickly gave a bitter smile. I'm telling the truth. You never used to interrupt me like this before, and you know that was in the past. Now, all I feel when I see you is disgust. So can you please drop that devoted act? Aren't you about to marry Zhao Linlin? But I didn't voice the rest of that thought. I'm afraid if I say it, he'll misunderstand and think I still have feelings for him. Fu Linzhou looked like he had something to say, trying to play the pitiful victim in front of me, but I chose to ignore him. He was about to say something else, but his phone rang. He pulled it out, glanced at it, then instinctively looked at me. Seeing no reaction from me, he finally picked up the call and walked out. I didn't even need to think to know it had to be Zhao Linlin calling him. I couldn't care less about their past romantic drama. I just wanted to get out of this suffocating place immediately. Taking a few steps forward, I heard Fu Linzhou's irritated tone. Zhao Linlin, how many times must I say this? I'm not marrying you. I only agreed to those things before because I wanted you off my back. Push me any further, and don't blame me if we both go down together. I couldn't hear Zhao Linlin's response, but I bet it was more of her pitiful act. Fu Linzhou, I'm thirsty, get me some water, I shouted toward the door. Alright, just a moment. Soon, Fu Linzhou walked in, poured some water, and handed it to me. After pretending to drink a few sips, I feigned sleepiness. Fu Linzhou immediately understood and helped me make the bed. That was just, I have no interest in your personal life. I flat out refused to engage. I used to always wonder what Fu Linzhou did every day, and who he spent his time with. Back then I was extremely insecure, so I tried to ease my anxiety by learning more about his life, but whenever I eagerly asked Fu Linzhou, he'd just give me vague responses before shutting down the conversation. He'd always sneak away to take calls, which really unsettled me. When I asked to check his phone, he'd snap at me, calling me controlling and saying I never respected his privacy. We fought endlessly about it. Later, he started making concessions, taking her calls right in front of me. From that moment on, Zhao Linlin, like a slow-acting poison, began to seep into both our lives. Whenever Zhao Linlin needed something, Fu Linzhou would drop everything with me in an instant and rush off to solve her problems. Later, fearing he'd abandon me for Zhao Linlin, I kept giving in, only to end up brutally murdered. This is all the handiwork of that despicable pair. Thankfully, it's not too late this time around. I won't be as foolish as I was in my past life. I checked the time. Zhao Linlin should be arriving soon. 22. Sure enough, a moment later, I heard a frantic knocking at the door, along with Zhao Linlin's agitated voice. An impatient look immediately crossed my face. My apologies, I didn't know she was coming. I'll get rid of her right now. No one is going to interrupt our time together. I ignored Fu Linzhou's words, but I couldn't help but inwardly complain. To hell with our time together. After Fu Linzhou left, I tried to find the key in the room. The first step to leaving is to gain freedom, but I searched every corner of the room and couldn't find the key, so I finally gave up. It seems he didn't leave the key in the room. The thought of being confined to this room filled me with an overwhelming sense of frustration. A moment later, the door opened. And Fu Linzhou and Zhao Linlin walked in together. Zhao Linlin's face had regained its color, and when she saw me, her eyes sparked with jealousy. If Fu Linzhou hadn't been by her side, she would have surely pounced on me and torn me to shreds, but now she looked completely innocent, like a delicate flower. Sister Yao Yao, I'll unchain you right now. Brother Zhou really has no compassion at all. How could he use such a big dog chain to lock you up? You're a human, not his pet dog. This is just too much, Sister Yao Yao. Don't be mad at Brother Zhou. I'll make sure to teach him a good lesson from now on. Alright, I agreed immediately. Zhao Linlin's expression shifted, and she came over to unlock the chains for me. She never expected me to not argue back, which clearly threw her off balance. Thanks to you clearing my name and diverting public attention, I can finally live in peace. I can't thank you enough, Yao Yao. Zhao Linlin, you're as shameless as ever. Trashy people really do spew nothing but trash. My sudden change in attitude instantly made Zhao Linlin's face flush with anger. I saw her pinching her thigh hard, holding back for a while before she finally whimpered, "Wah, I was so silly before, trying to ruin your relationship, but now I've had a change of heart. I'm going to find my own happiness, and I'll bless both of you. So, Sister Yao Yao, can you and Brother Zhou grant me one tiny request?" Seeing my silence, Fu Linzhou spoke up first. Of course, go ahead, as long as it's within our power, we'll do our best. Actually, I already have someone I like, but my family doesn't approve of us being together because he's been to prison before, Zhao Linlin said with a dejected look. But I really love him, and I don't want to break up with him. I want Yao Yao to ask CEO Gu to acknowledge him as her cousin. With Gu Chen's connection, my boyfriend's status will gradually rise. That way, my family won't stand in the way of us being together anymore. Zhao Linlin finished speaking, a shy expression still lingering on her face. I disagree. I didn't know what she was scheming, but I knew it couldn't be anything good. What makes you think you're entitled to my help? You've got some nerve, Sister Yao Yao. How can you say that? Do you know he went to jail because he saved someone who was raped and accidentally killed the attacker? That's why he's in prison. So what does that have to do with us? You're all victims. How can you have no sympathy at all? Sob. Zhao Linlin started crying again, overcome with distress. Fu Linzhou clearly looked pained, wanting to offer comfort yet hesitating to act. 23. I couldn't be bothered watching their charade. Fine, hand me the phone then, I'll contact Gu Chen myself. But this was also a perfect opportunity to reach out to Gu Chen. I knew you'd agree, Yao Yao. Only those who've been through something like that truly understand the despair. Zhao Linlin kept bringing up how I was hurt, and as her sister, it felt like she was just tearing open my wounds again. Even though I cared deeply, I wouldn't show any emotion. I was just about to grab my phone when Fu Linzhou snatched it away. No way, if Yao Yao gets in touch with Gu Chen, I'll lose her completely. This is the safest place for her right now, and I won't let anyone ruin my happiness. Fu Linzhou was losing it, and I just felt a headache coming on. Zhao Linlin, however, left her phone with me and hurried out, pulling Fu Linzhou along. I didn't overthink it. I just grabbed my phone and immediately called Gu Chen. After dialing, hearing Gu Chen's voice instantly calmed my frayed nerves. Soon after, I heard Gu Chen had people tracing my exact location through my phone number. Yao Yao, don't be scared. I'm coming to pick you up and bring you home right away. Okay, I'll wait for you. I told Gu Chen about my situation and assured him I hadn't been harmed at all, which finally put his mind at ease. Before long, Fu Linzhou and Zhao Linlin came back in. I reluctantly hung up the phone, noticing that Fu Linzhou's expression was quite somber. Zhao Linlin, on the other hand, was all smiles. I found this a bit unusual and watched them warily, but I couldn't pinpoint what the problem was. It wasn't until I saw the person behind them that my blood ran cold. It was Zhao Linlin's younger brother, the same person who raped and murdered me in my previous life. In my last life, Zhao Linlin tricked me into playing an escape room game, intentionally locking me in a separate room so an NPC could assault me. Zhao Linlin had already set up surveillance in the room, live streaming the process of my rape and murder. After I died, Zhao Linlin even faked a game scenario to help the NPC escape culpability. My body was dumped in the wilderness, and I died with a grievance. It was only at the very end that I finally recognized the NPC's face. It was Zhao Linlin's own brother. In my previous life, all I knew was that Zhao Linlin's biological brother was in jail, and their whole family disowned him. Yet, Zhao Linlin secretly took great care of him. All it took was a few tears from Zhao Linlin in front of her brother, and he would immediately avenge her. Zhao Linlin is truly a malicious woman, very skilled at cultivating her own instruments of revenge. With the right tools, she'll be twice as productive in everything she does. Now that her brother has suddenly shown up, knowing Zhao Linlin, she's definitely going to pull the same old tricks again. I still haven't figured out why she's so desperate to destroy me right now. But since I know what she's capable of, I'll definitely be extra careful. This time, I won't let them get away with it again. Everyone who's ever hurt me will pay. One by one, Zhao Linlin's younger brother walked up to me with a smile. Hi, I'm Linlin's husband, Zhao Heng. Nice to meet you. His intense gaze made me tremble a little, but I forced myself to stay calm. 24. Seeing that I hadn't extended my hand to shake his. A flicker of ruthlessness crossed his face before he quickly resumed his smile. All right, we've said our hellos, now we just wait for Mr. Gu to arrive. When he does, you really need to make a good impression. Whether he agrees to take you on as his cousin will depend entirely on this one meeting. Zhao Linlin came over and pulled Zhao Heng's hand back, and the two of them exchanged glances at the same time. I keenly observed my surroundings and, sure enough, suddenly noticed a lot of cameras. Just then, Fu Linzhou cleared his throat. Actually, I'd originally planned to build a large amusement park here, but I never found a developer to partner with. Linlin, haven't you always hated me clinging to you every day? If you can just get CEO Gu to invest in my amusement park today, I promise I'll never bother you again. You know, Guchen has blacklisted all my businesses, they're completely dead now. This is the only venture I have left to make a living. Can't you just grant me this one small request? Fu Linzhou spoke earnestly, his voice barely above a whisper. I pretended not to notice their expectant gazes. All right, but I have one condition. We wait for Guchen to join us. They all readily agreed. Since they want to play, I'll see this through to the end. Let's find out who breaks first. Sure enough, Zhao Linlin made the same request as in my previous life, to play an escape room. Every NPC in the escape room wore a mask and identical clothing. In the dark, it was impossible to tell who anyone really was. I noticed Zhao Heng was gone. Zhao Linlin must have already stashed him away in one of the rooms. Meanwhile, Zhao Linlin had already pulled out her phone. Sister Yao Yao, you don't mind if I go live, do you? It's all for the good of the amusement park, really. I just want more people to see how much fun this place is. After Zhao Linlin finished speaking, she turned the camera to me and said, Hey everyone, let me introduce you to today's stunning beauty, Lin Yao. She's incredibly good at escape rooms. Where is the streamer playing? This environment doesn't look like it's in China, but wow, it really has that escape room vibe. It feels so realistic. Could you tell us about the script? This script is the first half of Red Knight, which I'm sure you've all seen. This beautiful lady right here is our protagonist. And the story is 100% faithful to the original. I noticed quite a few people watching. Zhao Linlin is always stirring up trouble, but who would have thought she'd actually crack the code to viral content and become a minor internet celebrity? The comments were all buzzing with anticipation. When Guchen arrived, Zhao Linlin instinctively reached for her phone to film, but one look from Guchen sent her scurrying back. Guchen immediately came over to check if I was hurt. After a thorough examination, he finally relaxed once he saw I was perfectly fine. I whispered my plan to him. Guchen was worried, but he still chose to cooperate with me. Before, I was afraid I couldn't handle them all by myself, but now that Guchen is here, I'm suddenly full of confidence. After getting the character quest, I was the only one doing the side quest, which was just sitting in the room waiting for the young master to pick me up. 25. While waiting, Guchen quietly had someone take me out through a side door, leaving the unconscious Zhao Linlin on the bed. Guchen and I naturally weren't in the mood to play escape rooms with them. We left early to watch the livestream. Meanwhile, Fu Linzhou, his face etched with worry, was asking the actress playing Zhao Linlin, Are you sure your brother will only tarnish Yao Yao's reputation and not actually harm her? And make sure to blur Yao Yao's face in the video you record. I'm afraid she'll be hurt again. Our main goal this time is to make Guchen completely abandon Yao Yao. Only then can Yao Yao return to me forever. Fu Linzhou only slightly relaxed after seeing Zhao Linlin nod, but Fu Linzhou had no idea that what he had just said was already being live-streamed online. What a scumbag. He'd do anything to get what he wants. He's capable of such despicable things. Can we call the police? This is a blatant conspiracy. Why call the cops? Those people inside are all capitalists. What do you think the police can do to them? Yeah, just treat it as a thrill and move on. Maybe this is all part of a script. Pretty exciting to think about. The comments drifted on, but no one brought up calling the police again. The moment I saw Zhao Heng, Zhao Linlin's younger brother, come out, I immediately sent the live stream to the Zhao family. Wow. Are these intoxicating sounds something I should be hearing? The two people behind the curtain are really going at it. Rich people really know how to have fun. We're just pawns in their game. If I'm not mistaken, that must be Lin Yao in there. She's always had a reputation for being a social butterfly, but I never imagined she'd be so wild and private. It's her. Hi everyone, I'm Lin Yao, and that's not me in there. I waved confidently at the camera, and the live chat exploded with speculation about who was actually inside. Some people even started offering huge bounties for anyone present to film higher definition videos. Besides Zhao Linlin's younger brother, Zhao Heng, I also invited Zhao Linlin's ex-boyfriend, that high-class gigolo. Ever since his affair with Zhao Linlin came to light, no one has been willing to patronize his business. Every day, he's been forced to live by scavenging, and he's harbored a deep hatred for Zhao Linlin for a long time. I'd been quietly tracking his movements, deliberately feeding him information on Zhao Linlin's whereabouts. When necessary, I even provided him with crucial assistance, making it easy for him to locate Zhao Linlin. After Zhao Heng had finished and was about to make his move on Zhao Linlin, the gigolo immediately intervened. You don't need to do anything, I'll handle it. I have AIDS. Once she's been with me, her life will be ruined. She'll never be able to cause trouble again. Zhao Heng gave him a thumbs up and agreed to record a video for them as requested by Nilong. I really admire Nilong's courage to just go for it, but then again, Zhao Linlin's past misdeeds were bound to catch up with her. Still, Zhao Heng is such an idiot. He filmed for so long and didn't even realize the person underneath was his own sister. The livestream was quickly shut down, but I knew Zhao Linlin's story would spread across all sorts of websites. Her face would soon be recognized and talked about by the public. Just thinking about his future fate filled me with an immense sense of satisfaction. Shall we go celebrate? Guchen suggested. I nodded, took his hand, and we started our journey back. It was only then that I realized Fu Linzhou had brought me to a deserted island. No wonder Guchen had been searching for so long without finding me. I had never been here in my previous life, so I had no idea Fu Linzhou possessed such a hidden property. I always thought I knew Fu Linzhou inside and out, even believing I could manipulate his actions. Looking back now, I still feel a chill. Luckily, Fu Linzhou was foolish enough not to intend to imprison me for life. Instead, he chose Zhao Linlin's suggestion to ruin me, ensuring I'd have no choice but to stay by his side. 26. Fu Linzhou received a call from his mentor, urging him to rush and save Zhao Linlin. Fu Linzhou was completely bewildered. Zhao Linlin should still be live streaming, so how could she be in danger? Did Zhao Heng do something to Yao Yao? The thought spurred Fu Linzhou to quicken his pace. He just wanted everyone to despise Lin Yao. Only then could she truly belong to him. But he didn't want Lin Yao to suffer any harm whatsoever. After all, that was the person he loved most, and any harm to her would break his heart. With that thought, his pace quickened. He had never met Zhao Heng, but he had heard about him from Zhao Linlin. Zhao Linlin often told him that Zhao Heng was a madman, always doing illegal and disciplinary things just for the thrill of it. He joined this operation because he found it thrilling. Just hearing Zhao Linlin say that, he immediately felt Zhao Heng was unreliable, and might have already made a move on Lin Yao just for the thrill of it. Fu Linzhou came outside the cubicle, and hearing the intense screams from inside the room, his fists clenched uncontrollably, his heart ached terribly. But to completely possess Lin Yao, he had no choice but to do this. He realized that he no longer held any place in Lin Yao's eyes or her heart. He was the one who personally lost the Lin Yao who once had eyes only for him and a heart full of him. So, he deserved everything that was happening to him. He secretly vowed to himself that after tonight, he would treat Lin Yao exceptionally well, staying by her side every moment. Staying by her side as she slowly heals, gradually returning to the bright, sunny girl she once was. He believed that with enough effort and sincerity, they would definitely get back to how things used to be. After all, Lin Yao was easily swayed by emotion. A little bit of a sob story from him, and she'd be shedding precious tears. The sounds from inside continued unabated, and Fu Linzhou's face was streaked with tears. He's absolutely regretting his decision now, but he's already taken this step, and there's no turning back. Enough, stop it, I'm going to kill you all. Fu Linzhou finally couldn't take it anymore. He kicked open the door, grabbed Zhao Heng by the collar, and tried to attack him. Zhao Heng wasn't one to back down. He reacted quickly, pinning Fu Linzhou to the ground and roughing him up. Fu Linzhou's eyes widened as he stared at the two people in the room. You animals, how could you do something like this to Yao Yao? Yao Yao, my Yao Yao. Fu Linzhou scrambled to his feet, desperate to check on Lin Yao. Seeing his frantic state, the male escort felt a pang of guilt. You've got the wrong person. There's no Yao Yao here. This bitch's name is Zhao Linlin. You should look somewhere else. What? Zhao Heng immediately turned on his phone's flashlight at the gigolo's words, only to see his sister pinned beneath the man. Her face was bruised, and blood seeped from between her legs. Some marks were his doing, others the gigolo's handiwork. Zhao Heng completely snapped. He'd just slept with his own sister. Even someone with a strong stomach like him couldn't accept a relationship like this, especially since they had just been live-streaming in front of the entire nation. The moment Fu Linzhou saw it was Zhao Linlin, a look of relief washed over his face. Thank goodness it's not Yao Yao. Thank goodness it's not Yao Yao. The entire escape room descended into chaos in an instant. 27. Haiqing. Some time later. I finally saw news about Zhao Linlin and her group, the Zhao family, prioritizing righteousness over kinship, directly handed Zhao Heng over to the authorities. As for Nilong's whereabouts, no one ever reported on them. Some suspect he's already been dealt with. Zhao Linlin, on the other hand, lives out her days in constant despair. She's lost not only her reputation but also her inner peace, and to top it all off, she contracted AIDS. She'll be an outcast for the rest of her life, forever shamed. Unable to face the future, she's truly contemplated ending it all, but when it comes down to it, she can't bring herself to do it. She could only blame Fu Linzhou for her predicament. The Zhao family also started pressuring Fu Linzhou to marry Zhao Linlin. Fu Linzhou took responsibility for his actions, announcing to the public and the media that he would marry Zhao Linlin, but I didn't get a single word of praise. Everyone was saying they were a match made in hell, and that scumbags and sluts should just be locked together forever. I was thoroughly enjoying reading the comments, while Guchen was feeding me fruit beside me. Yao Yao, your issues should all be resolved now, right? Will you marry me? Faced with Guchen's sudden proposal, I was a bit taken aback. Why are you proposing so suddenly? Do your family know about this? Do they know about my past? I'm afraid they won't accept who I am. After all, someone like you must have a complicated family life, and I don't want to put you in a difficult position. I think it's perfectly fine for us to keep things the way they are. I got more and more agitated. Or are you saying you don't want to keep things ambiguous with me anymore? Are you trying to break up? Stop, 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 Guchen said, playfully flicking my nose. You're getting way ahead of yourself. I'm already 30 this year. If I don't get married, my family will start gossiping. Besides, I've already introduced you to my parents, and they're very happy with you. All those worries you have are baseless. My family genuinely likes you. What's more, don't you think that with all the success your husband has achieved, I should at least have a say in my own marriage? Guchen finished with a touch of smugness. He claims to be almost 30, but honestly, he still looks like a fresh-faced kid just out of his teens. But after hearing Guchen's explanation, I felt much more at ease. I was deeply touched. I had no idea Guchen had been working so hard behind the scenes for me. Thank you for all your hard work. I expressed my gratitude. Guchen kissed my forehead and said, don't be silly. They agreed because you're truly exceptional. I just showed them your photo, and they immediately thought you were perfect for the role, even praised my good taste. You silver-tongued devil. A smooth tongue is how a man wins his wife, Guchen, with a hint of arrogance, said, as a reward, and I pulled him down, kissing him fiercely on the lips. This 30-year-old man is simply too charming, constantly seducing me. I think today is perfect for celebrating. How about we do something a little more meaningful? I extended the invitation, and Guchen immediately picked up on my signal. His face immediately flushed. Then you have to be gentle with me. After all, it's my first time, and I don't have any experience. Boo-hoo, soon. Guchen's words were swallowed by me, and the entire room filled with ambiguous sounds. Men truly are quick learners. By the time I came to my senses again, Guchen had already cooked porridge and was feeding it to me. He even thoughtfully placed a soft pillow behind my back. A man who pays attention to details is incredibly attractive to me. I just can't resist kissing him. The moment our eyes met, we were locked in an inseparable kiss. Guchen and I are incredibly compatible, both in life and on a spiritual level. Being with him is so comfortable. I'm really enjoying how things are right now. A lot of my girlfriends have told me I look much better and keep asking for my skincare secrets, but I couldn't really say anything at the moment. After all, I hadn't paid much attention to skincare myself. It was just because Guchen was around, nevertheless. I shared all the skincare products Guchen usually bought for me, and soon many people expressed their envy again. 28. It wasn't long before Guchen took me home to meet his parents, and just as Guchen had said, his father and mother were indeed very easy to get along with. They kept telling me that if Guchen ever bullied me, I should definitely report him to them, and they would make sure to teach him a good lesson. I immediately nodded with a smile. But I told them that Guchen had always been very kind to me and never bullied me. Seeing how harmoniously we got along, they felt even more relieved. They immediately asked Guchen to arrange a meeting between our parents to pick a wedding date for us as soon as possible. The meeting between both sets of parents went smoothly, and the wedding date was quickly set. Guchen and I didn't have to lift a finger. Our families took care of all the wedding preparations for us. I never imagined getting married could be this effortless. When Fu Linzhou and I had our wedding, I was personally involved in every single detail. Fu Linzhou's only contribution was showing up as the groom. I used to be so understanding of how busy he was that I'd proactively take everything upon myself. After organizing that wedding, I was completely exhausted, but Fu Linzhou thought I was just faking it to get his sympathy. He didn't appreciate my hard work at all. He just thought everything I did was to be expected. Looking back now, it must have been a lack of love. Otherwise, how could he bear to let the person he supposedly loved work so hard? Guchen and I understand each other completely now. Neither of us wants the other to suffer. Fortunately, we've lived enough to be past the age of hardship, so Guchen tends to look after me a bit more. 29. Now, all we have to do is attend the wedding. It was a truly blessed wedding, celebrated with exceptional grandeur. Guchen even had someone keep an eye on Fu Linzhou, just in case he tried to disrupt our wedding again. I'd almost forgotten about Fu Linzhou until Guchen brought him up. I'm not worried at all about Fu Linzhou ruining our wedding. He's got too much on his plate right now. Why would he bother with something so thankless and draining? Fu Linzhou has always been someone who knows how to read the room and adapt. The wedding went smoothly, and Fu Linzhou never showed up. But then, at the wedding, I received an anonymous text message with well wishes. It was from Fu Linzhou, but I didn't read it. I blocked the number and then fully enjoyed the wedding, embracing the happiness that was ours. However, I still underestimated Fu Linzhou's audacity. He actually stood at the very front of the wedding motorcade, blocking our way. I opened the safe in my bedroom, took out the documents, and went to the living room. And also, I'm sorry. Yao Yao, I'm truly sorry. I'm not worthy of your kindness. I love you so much. Let's meet again in our next life. With that, he charged straight towards the car, but Guchen kicked him away. Get lost. Don't bring your bad luck here. Someone like you appearing in Yao Yao's life is simply a stain on her existence. Fu Linzhou was kicked so hard he spat blood, muttering regretful words. Good that you're back. Good that it's no longer me by your side. I watched Fu Linzhou's performance with cold indifference the whole time, until I saw Zhao Linlin stab him with a dagger. Fu Linzhou quickly collapsed to the ground. You deserve to die. I paid such a huge price for you, and yet you still can't forget that bitch. You truly deserve to die. You deserve to die. After saying that, she didn't forget to stab Fu Linzhou a few more times. He died on the spot shortly after. Zhao Linlin was taken away by the police, but it was discovered that she was mentally unstable, so she wasn't sentenced. However, the Zhao family completely abandoned caring for Zhao Linlin, leaving her in a mental hospital and never looking back. Zhao Linlin wasn't safe even in the mental hospital. She frantically claimed to have AIDS and would cut herself, letting her blood flow everywhere, hoping to infect more people. No mental hospital was willing to admit Zhao Linlin. Eventually, she ended up on the streets, trying to infect everyone she saw. One late night, she was quietly dealt with. Good riddance to bad rubbish. The world's a quieter place without that menace. Guchen still harbored a grudge against Fu Linzhou for ruining our wedding and wanted to remarry, but I turned him down every time. My current condition doesn't allow for too much exertion. After all, I'm pregnant and need to rest. Upon hearing the news, Guchen was so excited he bounced around like a little kid. From then on, his daily mission became taking care of me and our child, always fulfilling my every request. Even if I asked for the stars, he'd immediately contact the space agency without a second thought, buy a satellite, name it after me, and give it to me. Guchen's devotion to me was never something that could be summed up in words. It was evident in every single detail of our daily lives. Anything I ever mentioned, whether intentionally or not, he would actively make happen. He hasn't changed a bit since the day I met him. I kept asking him why he was so good to me. He said that on my 18th birthday, I captivated his entire summer, and every day since, he'd been planning how to be good to me. I can't believe he's had a crush on me for so long. And been so devoted. It's a good thing I'm 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 devoted.